You're listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes.
Well, hello there, gamers, and welcome to episode 73 of the Gamecasters, the show that many highly respected people in the industry call... Oh, you still do that? Yes, every time a new episode drops, you can hear the collective sigh of the world. To quote the great Obi-Wan Kenobi, every time a new episode drops, there's a disturbance in the Force, as if millions of people suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly annoyed. And that's what we strive for here at the Gamecasters, fear and annoyance, because that's almost a complete certainty with every episode of ours. So it was just recently my birthday, and man, this one is stressing me out. I turned 39 on Friday. Oh, so yeah, this is the last year I can still make the argument that I have any sort of youth left in me, because you can bullshit your way out of saying you're like old when you're in your 30s. You know, you're like, oh, it's my dirty 30s and this is the best decade of my life. But once September 10th hits of 2022, the only people I'm considered young to are like my grandma and like the Rocky Mountains.
Well, maybe the good
you're
news is maybe this decade wasn't so great to you, so maybe the next one will be the best decade.
Okay, that's true.
So instead of dirty 30s, what's the rhyme for 40s?
Yeah, what's 40s?
Sporty 40.
There you go. Ryan's be playing a shitload of tennis.
I'm going to be really in shape. I like that. But yeah, I feel like everyone else is like, oh, you're getting old. I always imagined by the time I was 40, I'd be an incredibly refined dude with like salt and pepper hair, waking up in a 3-piece suit, carrying a briefcase, and saying phrases like, I know the market is fluctuating, but my investments are sound. But instead, I'm just as immature as I was when I was 13. I have actual salt and pepper in my hair because I eat like the Tasmanian devil. I wake up in my birthday suit carrying a cheesecake and saying phrases like, the farter from Fartsville, farts fartingly from afar. Yes, we grow older, but we don't grow up like I once thought and hoped. If I'm still doing this nonsense in my 60s, there's no hope for the future. The main problem is, I can't really seem to help it. Above all else, I just want to have a good time and have fun. I'm not one of those people who are like, oh man, even if I won the lottery, I'd still work because I just can't sit still. You fools!
No.
You fools!
Definitely
You
not
would
that.
willingly go to work if you didn't have to? No, that's so stupid. Aren't there like a billion things you could do that you could find to do instead
you
of
enjoy?
working?
Yeah.
If you like won the lottery. Like, what am I going to do all day? I need to work. I don't know. See how many times you can masturbate before you bleed.
Oh God.
See how many cheese...
Man, what is the number of that?
Fit in your mouth until you start to choke. See how many fart jokes you can get away with before Natalie cuts your tongue out. The possibilities are endless. Work is the shit we have to do in order to fund our lives and the things we want to do. But if our lives were funded by the lottery, some people would still work. That's just Stockholm Syndrome.
I don't like those people.
Yeah.
No, that's just Stockholm Syndrome. So what's the first thing you guys would do if you won the lottery? You won like $100 million. What would you do first? I feel like
Quit my job.
I would try to get... I'd try to get the money in those like gold dollar coins and then fill my basement with them and like swim in it like Scrooge McDuck.
I like that.
You know what I mean? But seriously, I think the first thing I would do is pay someone like $1 million. So if I won $100 million, I'm just paying them like $1 million of that to like show up to places and like pretend to mess with Natalie or some other like hot chick, and then I can just like punch them in the face and push them really hard and scare them off. So then in public I can be the hero, and my kids will actually think I'm Superman, and all the hot women will want me, and Natalie will just always want it. That would be awesome. That's what I would do with
That is
with
not-
the
You shouldn't have told her that. Now she's in no. It was all a ploy.
Yeah.
If I win $100 million,
She manages the bank account. Where'd this $1 million
Where'd this million-
go?
Yeah,
Oh, don't worry about it, but there's a
She would.
dirtbag behind you. Get out of my house.
I didn't do it for you. I did it for that hot girl. What would you guys do if you won the lottery?
Natalie,
I
what do
mean,
you
for
got?
real or like some
Well, you quit your
ridiculous
job immediately.
joke thing? Like,
Whatever you want. That's,
Oh, real or some stupid
I know,
joke like
some
you?
dumb bullshit.
My God.
well, you don't believe
Well,
I would Scrooge McDuck in
definitely
gold coins?
would quit my job.
So you're not one of those fools who just wants to work still?
No, I would have enough money to do, like you said, whatever I want. If I want to golf 5 days a week, I'd golf 5 days a week. If I wanted, I think
6 days
the
a
number one thing I would
Yeah.
do is buy a huge sweet ass house on
Ass
the
house.
water,
Sounds
Ooh,
awesome.
a sweet ass
and then
house.
decorate the whole thing how I want. That sounds awesome. to
Wait,
me.
Okay.
what about me? I still live
Oh yeah,
with
you get the basement.
I can't
Yeah,
decorate it. Like,
no. You get to live in the
don't
house she
care.
decorated.
I won the lottery.
She won the lottery.
It's my money.
Yep,
It's not
exactly.
your money. It's my table. It's
Our
not your
money.
table.
We're married.
Oh.
Right. So then, then we decorate it like we want.
Okay.
Metallica posters.
Yep.
Jeff's naked chest.
Boom.
Remember that guy last night you met?
Was Metallica?
The Metallica
Yeah,
guy?
they're like, he got introduced and they're like, he likes Metallica too. And then they both started talking about Metallica really quick, really fast, and like really excitedly for like 5 minutes straight.
We were.
Every time you like this,
There in 2000 when they came out. Oh, remember it was Y2K? We were all scared. Oh, that Ted Nugent came
Did you
out.
guys just Natalie and whoever was? Did you guys just like back away? You were like,
Well, they were about to
leave
leave.
him
And
alone.
she's like, I guess we're not going to leave yet.
You can't drop something that awesome about somebody, and then so there was that guy who was about Metallica, and then there was another guy there who was just liked The Office as much as we do.
Oh yeah.
So I was in like.
We were at a
7th
wedding
heaven.
last night. Yeah.
That's right. It was a wedding. I thought it was a meet and greet for people. From
Yeah, right.
New friends convention
Before
for
we
Ryan.
Before we get to that, what would Jeff do with $100 million first?
Yeah, if you had $100 million today,
So I wouldn't work.
Fuck working.
I think that I might go into my job the day after I win, or the day I have the money, like in my, like I
Throw
have
it in
it.
the air.
Yeah, and I think I would bring money for like my students and just be like, "Hey, this is my last day working here," and just throw
make
throw
it-
like 10 grand in the room and,
watch
just
them, like,
leave,
scramble like
and just
rats.
leave.
Yep.
I would give everybody who I work with in my hallway some money, and I'd be like, "I'm out."
Goodbye.
I'm done.
Yep.
Goodbye.
And
I
fuck
think some
all
cool
of
things to
you
do would be
bitches.
I would buy a house. So Devin and I have talked about buying a house on a lake, but close. I'm not moving somewhere
No,
because all my
no,
friends
yeah.
and family are here.
Why don't you buy a
And
lake?
I'll buy a
Put
lake.
the lake in front of your house now.
I'll buy a lake and then build a house in the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
Island.
think I would have to do something like call you guys and we'd start like a board game cafe or something.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I
Like
thought, Ryan.
I would go buy RAW or something.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, store, cafe.
Yeah.
and
and
burn it down. Get
And then
more
and
insurance
then again,
money.
I'm not
And then when you
working.
lose-
Pay
Build it
someone
again.
else to run it.
Yeah, and then when you lose money on it because it's not going to do what probably very well, then you
Well,
have
thanks.
enough money to like
What?
keep it
Why are
grounded.
you not? Why are you just judging my business and my skills?
Well,
Come on.
I know Jeff,
Well,
and it's not going to do
this
very
piece
well.
of shit business you're gonna
What
love.
the hell is that?
Once
me
it
explain.
fucking fails,
Let me
so
explain.
mean.
Let me explain.
Well, we know it's going to fail,
Yeah,
so we have enough money to
It's
absorb
not
the
because
cost.
of Jeff that it would fail. It's just that besides like a couple
partner, me.
stores in this area, all of the stores that have ever opened fail.
that's why I
It's
buy
a-
That's why
those ones.
he's saying he'd buy the
I'd
successful.
buy
He'd buy
RAW.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
That's why there was extreme offense when you were like, "Well, that's going to fail."
Well, when it fails,
that's
I'm
running.
just-
You're running
I'm
that
just-
into the
Pam
ground.
did a great job. You suck at it. Big dumb idiot.
At least I got $100 million.
Wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, feel bad about yourself. Yeah, more realistically, what I would do with $1 million is I would keep it all to myself and snicker in the corner. It's mine. Sorry, babe. What's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine.
Boom.
That's what he always says.
That's what he always says.
Ever say
say that all the
I don't
time.
ever say
He
that.
says what's yours is your, or he says what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine.
I've never said this was the first
Say it
time
right
I've
now.
ever
No,
said that.
you've said that at least 20 times.
You need to write every time he says it from here on out. We all need to know
I feel
about
like
it.
Natalie has some master list somewhere
Of everything.
with everything I've
Yeah.
ever done because she always is like, "You've said that at least 20 times." Let's
Let me go to the
consult.
the
You said that
Excel
a lot.
sheet.
I have an
to me.
access database that has every phrase you've ever uttered. You're like the government. I say something and it gets flagged. Boom! Oh, there's that phrase again. He said "skosh."
Oh.
Ryan said
Yeah.
"skosh"
38.
again.
Well,
This is
you do
38
the
and
same
39.
thing with Office and Futurama quotes.
I do that to
You
you.
just know every single one. You store it in your brain. I just choose to store
Store
things
Ryan
about
quotes.
you.
That's funny.
Ryan
Yeah.
quotes. in
You're
my
basically
brain.
watching an everlasting episode of me.
It's like a
All the
Truman
time.
Show, but Ryan
Yeah,
show.
Ryan,
You
the
just
Ryan
have it
show.
in your head.
God damn it.
Ryan's World.
Yeah, I mean, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. You ever
I think that's the first time you
yeah,
said
I've never
that.
said that before. You ever heard that before? What's up with you, Jeff?
So we started school last week.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my first week of school, Devin's second week of school. And I'm
never been to school before?
Friggin' exhausted.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Well, after
That first
a whole
week-
year of not having to
Yeah.
go in and teach.
This was the first time in 18 months I had kids in my room and it felt kind of like school. We're all wearing masks, but that's fine. And the kids
Like
have been
ski
really
masks?
awesome. Yeah, just like full mask, like Halloween
Like a
Jason
Rob
masks.
joint.
Yeah.
No one said what kind of mask you had to wear.
Hey, you just wear a mask.
Just wear a mask.
Which is fine. The kids have been really awesome about wearing masks. I thought it would be, some tension or some whatever, but they've been really great about keeping masks on, and it hasn't been as awful as I thought it was going to be. I'm not like, oh, I can't breathe or I'm sweating or no. It's been really good,
not
and I'm just
complaining.
happy to kind of have that structure and to be back in front of them. And I
That's
think
cool.
they're also happy, for how much a 14-year-old can actually be happy
Does
about
it
something.
feel like a lifetime ago that you were in that setting?
Yes.
That's
And-
gotta be weird.
And for them, the same thing too. And so I teach at a high school, 9th through 12th grade, and 2 years without being in the building. I have 9th and 10th graders that have never been in this building.
Wow.
So they don't know where the bathroom is, where their classes are. So
What idiots.
now there's dummies. God, look for signs
It's
or
the one
something.
labeled bathroom, you dumbass.
So it's like now we have 500 kids in the building that have no idea where they're going and what they're doing. So
Yeah.
everybody's trying to kind of help each other. So we're all getting settled.
Yeah.
It was just an exhausting week. And we moved to like block scheduling. So classes are an hour and a half. It was just really exhausting. But what's really random that happened to me yesterday, nothing to do with school. Okay. I was playing around with Jack. I was like picking him up, swinging him around. He wants to like spin around in circles.
Okay. Jack is Jeff's son.
Something happened. And it's like a
We get.
like a-
I feel like
a
we get
random
150
friend.
new followers every.
Yeah.
New listeners every episode.
Just a friend of mine I just picked up, spinning him around.
Uncle Jack.
Or someone grown. Yeah.
Uncle Jack losing my
Yeah, I was just
basement.
spinning him around. So my son, who's 2, I was picking up, spinning him around, and something happened, and he poked me in the eye. Okay, and we've all been like poked in the eye or
Yeah,
poked
it's like,
yourself.
ah.
I have never been poked in the eye this hard in my entire life.
Did you?
I
drop
was
him?
immediately crippled. Like,
He was, like, dropped
I
to the
put him
floor.
down and I like went down to the ground. And immediately it was like I had a pounding headache. My body wouldn't let me open my eye. I was like, my eye's it's gonna fall
You're
out of my
like,
head.
"You poked my
I'm like,
eye out."
something bad has
So
happened.
did he like? It just like went back really far. Did it? Feel
Yeah,
like
it
you
must
were,
have
in the brain?
like I was punched in the eyeball. And Natalie's like covering her eye because I know
Yeah,
you can
that-
like, feel
like
it.
that
Like,
feeling.
So I like went down and Devin's like, "Are you okay?" I don't know. So I went and laid like on our bed and I physically could not open my eye.
Did you?
My
what
body
did
was
you
like,
do when it
"Nope, you
happened
are
to
not
Jack?
opening it."
Were you just like?
I put him down.
What the
He
fuck,
was
bro?
concerned. I was like, I gave him a hug. I'm like, "It's okay, buddy." He's like, "Hurt your eye, hurt your eye." He was like worried. So I gave him a
Yeah.
hug. I'm like, "It's okay."
Yeah.
So
You
for like
did
the
this
rest of
to
the
me.
day, he kept, I pushed him.
You did this.
I opened his eye and poked him.
How's this feel?
So you know how it felt. But it was like I took Tylenol. I was like, I had a headache, and I told Devin, I was like, I can't. We were about to go out to Costco or something. I was like, I can't go with you. I'm like, I can barely open my eye. I can't do anything. And it took an hour for me to be able to like open my eye.
That's crazy.
And
you think you like
I
scratched
immediately
it?
thought for a while that I'm like, it's scratched. It's cornea scratched, something. I need to go to the doctor. And then I closed my eyes for a while. I sat on the couch for an hour and just with my eyes closed.
You can't see. My mouth has been
And
agape
yeah.
this whole time.
So with my eyes closed, not sleeping for an hour on the couch, just thinking, all right, this feels okay when my eyes are closed, but when I open it, it hurts. When I blink, it hurts. Thankfully, I got my eye open, and
you were penetrated.
yeah, I got poked.
Yeah, you were violated.
And this morning, thankfully, I woke up. It's not as red. You guys didn't say anything about it when I
can
came
see?
over, so I can see okay.
Good.
I really
You drove
thought
here,
It doesn't look
And-
like anything happened to it. Looking at you,
Okay,
I would,
Yeah, I
good.
didn't
would
Because
have
I thought, I'm like, well, I'm going to go to school on Monday with a mask and an eye patch because something happened. But thankfully,
Yeah, it's time to learn
it
about
recovered.
history.
Yeah, it recovered. But man, it was scary in the
Was it with
moment.
his finger?
I think so. It was just all happened so fast. I'm pretty sure it was a finger. Oh god.
Wow, that
Yeah,
yeah.
it
So he
was-
was just like,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
it just probably just shot right in.
I did not like eye stuff. That
Yeah.
you were,
freaks me
you were
out.
just scope.
Remember
It hurt.
that thing
That's-
that happened to my mom?
Yes, you can't just say stuff like that.
I know.
I know. I was gonna explain.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
go ahead.
okay.
This thing happened. To
You
my
remember?
mom.
Okay, cool. Next.
No,
And it,
like on the
freaked
air.
Me out. She what was she doing? She had some
Sucking
sort
some
of. She had some sort of.
That's what she was doing. Natalie's mom.
Yeah.
I know.
Natalie's mom. It wasn't some
Jeez,
random
Natalie.
bird.
She had some sort of eye surgery. I don't even remember what it was for. It was. I remember whatever it was. It wasn't like medically necessary. It was like a.
Elective surgery.
Elective surgery.
Yeah,
It wasn't LASIK because she already had LASIK, but it was something else. And so she had the surgery,
Pupil enlargement.
and then she like had to go back to get it checked out, but she couldn't drive or something. And so like
she's a terrible driver.
I went
and,
I,
with
like-
one, and with one eye.
I don't
Yeah.
even remember the situation, but like I went to her house to pick her up, and her eye was like enormous. Like it was like bulging out of her head.
Like Mad Eye Moody.
It was like freaking me out. And so like I like drive her there, and they like look at it, and I was trying to like be cool, almost like with the kids,
And
she's
you're
like,
like,
does it look bad? Because she
don't look
can't
at me.
see, anything.
It's not good.
It's not good.
She had to like
Does it look bad?
she
Well,
had
it's
to
not
like
good.
talk to her phone to see what time it was. She had to be like, Siri, what time is
Yeah.
it? Because she couldn't even see her phone.
Yeah,
You know?
we were
So she
worried
got
about her
eyeball
for a while.
enlargement.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did.
And
Well,
so,
you know,
I
guys
picked her
like
up.
those big eyes.
The huge eyeballs.
Yeah. And she's like, how does it look? I'm like, it's not that bad.
great.
And I was,
You look
and
great.
I think like
The lighting in here is wonderful.
You're glowing.
I'm not gonna make this long.
Like your
story.
son is an
But
eyeball.
Basically, like I took her to get like checked out, and the doctor didn't seem that concerned. It was just really swollen, and even when we were like, I was like walking her into the office, she was holding my arm like she was a blind person. And I was like, oh my god, is she gonna be blind? Am I gonna have to take care of her?
We did think that for
like,
a while.
yeah, I was like freaking out
Because it
and
lasted for a long time.
It was like probably like a week or so, and then it went back to normal.
Felt like
and everything
longer
was
than
fine.
that.
But like I remember after I
shrunk
dropped
back
her,
down.
I dropped her back off at her house, and
She looked like Elmo.
and I was like, should I be like leaving her alone? And I got back in my car, and I was like, I think I almost started crying because I was like, oh fuck, I was like, what? Because I was trying to hold it together.
Oh my god. She looks so bad.
you can't say lied to her face anymore because her eye is her face now.
Right,
I just lied right to her eye.
She looked like Mike Wazowski.
I told you, I was like, I'm so glad she couldn't see my face because I was probably like,
She's a cyclops.
Oh man.
yeah. But eye stuff is scary.
Yeah, I was nervous for a
Yeah.
little while, but
I
glad. Yeah, EYE was
Oh my
nervous.
gosh, that's crazy.
Ugh. I also found this other story on Reddit that I have to tell you.
I love that stuff. Reddit is so Reddit
Reddit is
so
wonderful. There are some amazing like sub pages. So this is on the TIFU, which is Today I Fucked Up.
I was like,
Okay.
I've
So
never
the
heard
Today I
of this.
Fucked Up subreddit is amazingly funny. The
Okay.
stories on there are great. So this is gonna go along. Well, not because it's Ryan's birthday, but this is a birthday story.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it's dedicated to me.
It's dedicated to you, Ryan.
Thank you.
So this is from a young woman. She says, it was my birthday, and I was working late. It was in the middle of the week, and I wasn't expecting any get-together of any kind, and my boyfriend texted me that he couldn't wait for me to get home. He had a big surprise waiting for me in the basement.
His dick.
Let me give you some context here. We have a fully furnished basement with a bar. There's also a bedroom down there, and many times we have a few drinks and do some adult things down there.
Okay.
I got home, took my clothes off in the kitchen, left on my heels, so naked heels, and proceeded downstairs. It was
Surprise
dark,
party.
except a hallway light leading me to my impending doom. As I got into the basement, the lights came on, and my entire family, including small children and elderly grandparents, jumped out and yelled, "Surprise!"
Oh my god.
She's naked.
Except I was naked and wearing high heels. I ran upstairs, hid in the bathroom, and cried.
Oh no.
The worst part was, apparently this isn't even the worst. The worst part was, my family wouldn't accept that I was too embarrassed to continue the gathering. They stayed until I came out, and we had to go through the whole birthday party, cake and everything, after that had just happened. Most embarrassing day of my life.
Oh my god.
That is
Why would she
awful.
do that? I mean, okay, I get that, like, okay, my past experience, we do some dirty stuff down there, but wouldn't you still, like, maybe
Think
you don't
maybe.
get naked first? That's always,
like, get
that
naked
always
She was
happens
just
in, like,
trying to
TV
also
shows.
be the sexy time, right? She was
Yeah.
coming in sexy time ready.
Yeah, I feel like that always happens in TV shows where like someone thinks they know what's going to happen, and so
Yeah.
they just get nude, and then the person comes in, and they're like,
oh,
"Get out of
no."
here!" You know, like it never goes right. So
Yeah.
never. This is a lesson to you guys: never just get naked and enter
unless you're
rooms
sure.
unless someone says, "Hey, get naked."
Yeah, or to
Yeah.
say, is there a surprise party? And then they say, no. Okay, then you
Yeah,
get
okay,
naked.
then I can get naked. Is there any reason I shouldn't be naked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was so funny. I was just
appropriate for this.
laughing.
That is ridiculously
Yeah.
funny. That is ridiculously
They had to
funny.
continue. So she's just like, goes back downstairs. Everyone's, hey, okay, happy birthday.
Yeah, so I wonder what that was like for like the family. Like they wouldn't accept. Like, did they think it was funny? You know, or were they just like, we're not leaving until you just fucked us over. We're not leaving until
Is
you
there,
get back
like-
here and eat this cake.
Yeah, is there someone who just thinks it's like hilarious? Some like cousin who's like, oh my God, that was the funniest fucking thing. Or grandma who's mortified and
Yeah.
is embarrassed. You know,
You
there's
have
probably this.
breasts.
Or like a 5-year-old kid who's like, what's all that hair?
What's that?
Ew. God, Natalie,
My God. What's all that hair?
I would assume in the story that if
Jeez.
she's naked in her high heels, she shaves.
She's probably comfortable enough.
She shaves down.
She probably looks good too. She probably looks comfortable.
That's
She's comfortable
what-
enough to take it all off and walk down the stairs in high heels. And
What is
Natalie
that
goes
hair?
right to what is all that hair?
hair on my gina.
Oh, what's all that hair?
There's no.
Do you have a vagina?
that ruins the story because I thought of her as completely.
You
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
of her however
I
you wanna
picture
think
she's a
of her.
comfortable woman walking down the stairs, high heels, nude, boom, surprise,
Right.
grandma.
Shaved, waxed, everything. She's
5-year-old,
just like-
the parents covering the 5-year-old's eyes, and he's trying to peek through, or she's trying.
I wonder if if she just like if they like jump out and say surprise because when the lights are all off and you're the surpriser, and you are like, surprise! You probably don't know what you're seeing the second the lights come on.
Yeah.
So if she runs away fast enough,
might not have
they
seen that
probably
much.
only caught
A glimpse.
a
Like
glimpse.
her ass running up the stairs.
Or the jiggles
What
of
I
her,
want to know
her breast.
though, like, I mean, obviously knew she was
Testicle jiggle.
naked, and she runs up and she's hiding in the bathroom. And then what are they
Crying.
doing? Like it's cool, no one cares.
don't
Come on
worry about
out.
it.
you
We've
know?
all been there. That's every
Come on
Thursday
down. Your
for
Uncle
me.
John took his clothes off.
Yeah.
Let's come on down.
We're all naked now. Look at all this hair. That's a great story.
Yeah.
What was that other story that Jeff told on Reddit? The vagina one. There was a vagina story.
Oh,
and it was the funniest. It was so funny.
It was
to me.
like the Amazon screensaver app took your pictures from your phone, and it was
Right.
scrolling
It was,
through,
like, displaying all the
yeah,
and
because it was another like family member
Yes.
saw like
Yeah.
Yeah, they were swiping through the memories on their phone, I think.
Yeah.
And the memory came
And
up
there was a
of
really
like
dirty picture.
Yeah, him like fingering his girlfriend or something. Yeah.
Oh, that's
two fingers.
so-
Yeah. Oh boy.
Three knuckles deep.
Yeah, it was really funny. The way they told it is great.
That's really embarrassing.
That's
I don't even know
awesome.
what I would do in that situation.
I feel like would you just
just
stand
have
there
to
and be
own
like,
it.
"This is me."
Yeah. You just have to own the
And
embarrassment
just
later.
walk in, eat some cake, or put some cake on the naughty bits.
That's Varsity Blues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, damn. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we'll
Oh my god.
So last weekend, Natalie and I went over and hung out with our good friends Ben and Emily from the Date Night Dice podcast. And you guys, I got fucking wasted.
Yeah, you did.
I got so
Did you
drunk.
hear? He drank alcohol.
Ben gave me like a tablespoon of beer with
it was
this
literally
fruit in
like
it. It burned me.
He's like, this burns.
tastes like
and I-
burning.
Yeah,
Also, it took him like, I don't know.
So what
30
kind
minutes?
of alcohol was it?
It was okay. So I think it was a beer that
Okay.
was like to Ben. He's like, it literally tastes like pineapple juice.
It was
to
like
me.
beer infused with some sort of
It was like
fire.
very fruity. No,
because
was,
it burned
Okay, but it wasn't like
me.
bourbon or like
no,
hard liquor.
It was a very fruity
beer. Okay.
beer. So if you actually like,
And
People call
Ryan
me
does not
sometimes.
drink. Was this the first alcoholic beverage you've ever consumed? Sip?
Voluntarily, I think.
Oh.
Okay, that's not okay. That sounds bad. That's not to say I was
Okay.
like alcohol raped or anything.
Yeah.
No, one time I accidentally took a sip of what I thought was
Oh,
juice.
okay.
But this time for some reason I was just like,
because Ben kept saying, because like Ben drinks a lot of beer, so to him this beer
Tastes like nothing.
tasted like
Yeah.
Like fruit.
like
It
juice.
just tastes
Literally
like
tasted
fruit.
I'm not
juice.
spitting this out.
And
Sweet
so
berry wine.
he was like, "Oh, you should try it," and Ryan was like, "Okay," because he's like, "Oh, it just tastes like juice," and he drank. He gave him like
it was like a tablespoon.
it was probably like an inch tall in the glass, you know, it's like nothing. And so like
I don't
Ryan
know.
drinks it and he's like, "Oh, this burns." And he's like, "It tastes like alcohol." And Ben's like, "Really? All I taste is like pineapple juice or whatever."
It burned me.
and
It burned
it
me.
took him like 30 minutes to
I
drink
had,
this
like-
little tiny
Well, yeah.
sip.
How are you supposed to get through it? It hurts. Drinking hurts. I didn't know drinking hurts.
Or just
so
dump
bad.
it out and not tell anybody.
It hurt.
Just be like, I didn't like it.
I was like, I was interested.
You wanted to fit in with the cool guys.
Yeah, I was
he was
interested.
like kind
Well,
of
and
just
then
like, I want to
Emily,
see what this is all about.
and then Emily gave me like the sake glass filled with apple cider. Wait, I'm not supposed to call it that.
It's not apple cider.
think
Apple
it
cider is
was.
what you get from a cider mill. It's called hard cider.
Hard
Hard apple
cider.
cider.
Okay, just hard
Right.
cider.
Yeah.
But basically, this particular cider, I had some. It tasted like it literally tasted like carbonated apple juice. Like there was like no.
But according to Ryan, it tasted like fire.
It was. Ouch.
Yeah, again, that
hurts.
was a tiny, teeny, tiny little glass, and it
Doesn't
took
like
him
it.
a-
I was lit. We brought the kids,
He was
and they had such a
wasted.
great time playing with Liv, Elsa, and Calvin. We ate our weight in Merlot cheese and basically just engaged in hedonistic activity all day and all night. It was a blast. And on top of all of that, we actually played some games.
Yeah, I was very jealous. I saw you guys
Yes.
playing games. I just
Yeah.
couldn't make it out that weekend to hang out with you
One
guys.
of the
but
games
it was-
seemed really
Can
fun.
Yeah, we played Can
Oh,
Jam.
man.
Well, because I had an
Seemed
extra
like a really
Can
fun
Jam, so
time.
I brought that over because we had an extra one because my aunt gave it to us a while ago, and we were talking about it with them.
Had
They were
Ben
like,
played
we
it before?
love- Yeah, he had
Ben
played it
played
one
one
time.
Seems
He was
like that
like,
would be
I
his.
love it, and I was like, dude, I have an extra one. I'll just bring it over. You can have it. And so they played. Cameron got so mad at, you can guess,
Lexi?
Lexi's first throw.
Right through the hole.
Right through the hole. Game over
Well,
with.
Yeah.
It was a practice. Like, this is what you do. You try to get it in the hole. She's like this, basically.
And, they're like,
And we're like,
we all
what?
went like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
But then, of
And
course,
Cameron
Cameron's
was
like,
like,
fuck
Right.
Oh,
this.
he was so
Oh
mad.
man,
He was so
Poor Cam.
mad. He
I
like sat in
know.
the on the slide, and he was just like,
Yeah, I forgot to tell
Angry
you
face, you
when
know,
I went golfing with my family last weekend. I was telling that story to Kyle, and I was like, "Yeah," and then Lexi did this, and he's like, "Oh, was Cameron so mad?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yep,
Yes.
you got it." And
We
he's
know
like,
my
my
"Yeah."
poor
dynamic.
buddy.
Yeah.
My poor buddy was mad. But now, afterward, so that happened, and then afterward, he turned into Niv. he would launch
launch it.
and he would usually hit the thing every time. So he was
Yeah.
he was probably the
He was
best,
pretty good.
the best one
Yeah.
between him and
I mean,
Lexi.
obviously that thing with Lexi was a fluke, and that didn't happen again.
So funny.
But Elsa then did it later.
Yeah,
Elsa got it in this.
But it was funny too
I hate saying
because
this, in the slot. She got it in the slot.
Cam was good at it, but his partner was Olivia, and Olivia was like scared of getting hit. By
Yeah, because Cameron was
Frisbee.
throwing it like
50
this.
miles an hour.
Yeah, that was the funniest part. So Cameron threw it, she was like, ouch, ooh, gee, she kept getting hurt. One time she actually got so hurt she had to step off. Like,
I think she like hurt
Oh,
her
man.
toe.
I know, I felt so bad. But anyway, it was really fun.
was fun.
We're only going to deep dive, though, into one of the games that we played with them. So Emily forced me at Cheese Point to play Skull King, the game that stresses me out more than peeing alongside people in a public bathroom.
Did you win again?
No, I didn't win.
Okay.
I got there was 5 of us playing because they had a friend of theirs come over to pick up a USB
He was
cable or
borrowing
something.
and then they made him stay and play games.
And Ben's like, we're gonna make you play Skull King, and so he played Skull King.
okay.
He won by 1,000
yeah.
points,
But I mean, I will say,
and then Natalie, and then me.
I thought that it was more fun than the first time we played it.
Okay, good.
I didn't hate it.
I love it. It's so fun.
It was. It actually
It
was
was
really
fun.
fun.
Good.
I'm not gonna lie, it was really fun. We also played The Crew and Dice Throne, which we were going to talk about, but we feel like it wouldn't be fair for us to review after just one play, as neither of us feel like we really got the true Dice Throne experience. I rolled so well that I only activated 1 power
And I
all
rolled
game.
so bad that I didn't get to do much.
She there was a couple turns she could literally do nothing.
That's a bad
yeah,
feeling.
Ben's like, I don't think you can do anything. And I
Yeah,
was
that
like,
sucks. The fact that can happen, I hate. I don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't think that happens often.
Yeah.
The way Ben was looking at oh my god, I think you can do nothing.
Right.
Like that
Well,
probably
it was
never
that
happens.
Sure.
My bad rolling combined with the character or whatever that I picked basically didn't really deal damage. He said that mine was different. Everybody's dice allocation was
Yeah,
different than mine,
yeah.
and so I must have just picked a weird one, and then pairing that with what Emily had, it just didn't really work out well for us.
Theoretically, I love the game because it's basically like a deck builder, like a Star Wars Destiny, but you don't build the deck. The decks are pre-constructed for you,
Yeah.
and Ben has both of there's season 1 and season 2.
Right.
He's got both of them, and I think he has the Kickstarter versions of both of them, so he has he got 20 different
Yeah.
characters you
Yeah,
can
it
pick
seems
from.
like they have a
Right.
ton.
And it's really cool the way it is. I just said I wasn't going to talk about it. I'm just talking about a little bit. But it's really cool the way it works. Is you have this board, and it's got all these different combinations of the dice that you roll. And if you roll these, it's a Yahtzee style game. So you roll, and then re-roll, and then re-roll, stopping anytime you want to. And then if you get a combination on your dice that match one of these things on your player board, you activate that power, which is usually attacking, or it could activate a special token ability that you can place on somebody, or defense, right? And so theoretically, that's really cool. Our play did not go well, even for me. I probably dealt the most damage of the 4 of us.
Yeah,
I killed it, but I kept rolling this exact same thing on my first roll. I'm like, oh, well, I can just do this one.
Yeah.
Why would I not do?
Yeah.
And part of me was like, well, I want to see what these other abilities do, but I was like, why? That would be
Yeah.
stupid of me to not do that.
no, you're totally right. It's playing it one time.
Yeah, you can't
One
review a
play
game that random
yeah,
after
it's not-
one play.
yeah.
So we would need to play that one again before giving it a review. But the other game we played that we enjoyed so much, spoiler, that I bought behind Natalie's back, and she's just finding out about it right now, is called So
That's not true.
Close. Yeah, she knew.
I told him
she knew.
about
You were supposed
it.
to play along though for
Where is it?
for the clicks.
Isn't it supposed to be here?
Yeah, it was supposed to be here on my birthday, and it's right now the
Where'd
shipping
you buy
thing
it
says
from?
pending. Cool stuff.
I'll just buy it from Amazon, see if I can get it first.
I tried. It was
sold
out of
out,
stock.
yeah.
I mean, it might be in now. Anyway, the game is called So Clover, which
Hopefully we get it before Gen Con and we can play it there.
I'm in. Let's hear about it.
let's talk about it.
So sorry.
I know.
Welcome back.
We're doing a podcast now. So Clover, which is a funny take on So Clever, I'm going to guess, right?
Yeah.
But it's a clover. It's a party
like a clover.
cooperative word association game that plays 3 to 6, published by Repos. It's a game that feels 1 part codenames and 1 part just one. Basically, the way it works is you have a player board that's shaped like a 4-leaf clover, and it's dry erase.
Yeah.
It's green, but it's cool, but it's green dry erase, okay? And so it's shaped like a 4-leaf clover. In the middle of the player board, you randomly place 4 cards in a 2x2 grid. Each card has a word on every edge. The words on the cards that are on the outside edges become the words you're trying to associate. So, since it's a 4-leaf clover, each leaf of the clover will have 2 words. This is much easier if you're looking at the
Yeah.
picture. But if not, bear with me. So let's say one of the leaves, I have 2 words that are insect and girl, okay? Well, with a dry erase marker, you are writing on the leaf a 1-word clue that you feel associates with those 2 words, right? So I might write ladybug, okay, on there. So you can see insect and girl would work for ladybug, right? I do that with the 3 other leaves that also have 2 random words on them. And then after I've finished, I remove all the cards from my board, flip the cards over, shuffle them up together, and then draw 1 card that wasn't involved. So I shuffle them all together. I do that. We all do that. We're all doing that at the same time. But then, so starting with me, every other player, so this is cooperative, every other player takes the cards that I shuffled and flips them face up and looks at them. And looks at my player board, that now all my player board has now are the words that I wrote on the leaf. So you guys see ladybug, and then you see all the cards laid out, and you're like, okay, what matches for ladybug? And you're trying to basically recreate the board that I had when I was thinking of the clues, right? So, you'll see ladybug, and you might be like, oh, okay, here's insect. That has to be one of them. What else could be there? Another card might say spot, and you're like, okay, maybe it's insect and spot. Ladybug, that would be perfect. Even though girl was one, right?
Or
so
another thing is like, because there's 2 spots, so you pick, let's say you're like pretty sure insect belongs to ladybug, but there's 2 spots for under ladybug that you can put it. So you're trying to also look at the other side of that square card to see if that also lines up.
it's like a
with
Jets
this
4-corner
side
pizza.
or this side.
Man,
yeah.
that's good.
Right? Delicious. Yeah. So, exactly. So the cards you're placing are 2 by 2. Each card shares a common corner.
Okay, so that might actually help you because if spot,
Yes.
the other side
If the other side of
didn't
spot
make sense,
doesn't
then
work
it
for the other
probably-
word, but
Right.
girl does.
Yeah.
Then you would potentially know how they go. Okay, so once everybody places their cards back, once you guys place your cards back on my board, how you think I originally had them, you say, okay, we're done. Is this it? And I either say, you're right. And if you're right, you get a certain number of points. I think it might be dependent on the number of players that play. It was 6 points was like,
But you get, if you get it right on the first try, you get 2 bonus points.
is it just bonus
So
points?
that
It's not
means- so
dependent
you
on the
get-
number of players,
I don't
though?
think so. So you get 4 for getting all 4 right, plus 2 bonus points for getting them right on the first try.
If you're wrong, all I do, I don't say anything. I just remove the cards that you placed incorrectly, and then you get one more chance to do it.
Okay.
And so then you look at the ones you got wrong, and you're like, oh, it was probably these 2. And then whatever you get right after that, you just get 1 point for each card you got correct. You don't get the bonus on the second time. So we just go around like that until everyone's board has been dealt with, and then we total up our score. And it's
and so, like you said, it's kind of like just one where it's like you're doing you're guessing each person's individually, like what they did, like just one, but you're on a team where your score is together. So you're trying to get like the best score as a group. Just
you're trying
one,
really
as you
hard to
can.
get. You want the group to guess your stuff,
like a just
Yeah.
one,
like
your
just
collective
one. Yeah.
scoring.
Correct.
Sure.
Yep, exactly. So things I liked. First of all, I love word association games. They're super fun, right?
Yes, you do.
Codenames are my favorite. Decrypto is great. Just One's fun. Medium, Letter Jam. There's a lot of them, and they're really all a good time. So Clover fits right in with these and still manages to feel different enough that I think it warrants a place in a collection that already has all of those games I just mentioned. Hence, we just bought it. My favorite part of the game is the second part. Figuring out what everyone else did and why. If you're just completely hammered like I was, because I was so drunk, you find interesting ways to stretch the rules with your clues. Like I had the words ink and limit. And I could not, for the life of me, figure
Ryan
out
cheated.
what to do. I could not figure out what to like, ink and limit. I'm like, how do I write one word to associate this? So I wrote the word speed, but I wrote it like really
like
thick.
big block letters.
Like I use a lot of
Okay.
ink.
All right.
And they got it.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know if that's
I don't know if
against
that's
the rules
cheating.
or
Maybe
not.
it's not.
But they got it, and it was really funny. Once that happened,
Yeah.
and it's a game, and we'll talk about this when we get to a game that Jeff's talking about. It's a game that it's almost more fun when you allow stuff like that to happen because it's one of those games where the points don't really matter.
Yeah, it's just fun
You're
playing
like, okay, we got 22 points. This time we got 24. Like, who cares?
Right.
The fun is figuring it out and making it fun for the group. There was a really high level of fun factor to it, and that's what I liked a lot. Things I didn't like. So the cards have wildly different words on them, and there are times, lots of times for me, where it felt impossible to associate the words on the cards. It felt like there's no way. Like, I don't know how I would have strung ink and limit together. Maybe you listening out there, you think of one that's like, oh, so simple as this, but I could not do it. When you have like wife and wind, how do you combine those two together?
I
Right?
can think of a couple.
You think?
Yeah. Is
No,
it like,
you can't. Nobody can.
Oh,
do
nobody could
anything.
no one could think of that.
But seriously, there were times where I just felt completely locked up trying to think of a clue, and that was a bit stressful in a way that I didn't enjoy. Like, I read a comment on Board Game Geek about this that compared this to Codenames, and to paraphrase what they said, a game like Codenames works well because you can have just as much fun playing the game not being the person who's coming up with the clues. And in this game, you always have to play both sides. You are always coming up with the clues and guessing. You're playing both parts. Where Codenames, you don't have to be the code breaker ever, and you can still have a lot of fun playing the game. So I can see people maybe not liking this as much because of that. Because of it can be stressful. Like, I cannot connect these words together, so now I have to throw off, and you guys are just screwed. Right? Like, if I have limit and ink, and I just write speed, like, okay, speed goes to limit, but you're never going to guess ink for speed, ever.
Right.
You're
At
never
least-
going to guess that.
And like you said, that at least in Codenames also, Codenames has an option for you to just go 1. So
Yes.
I say ink 1,
right.
and you can get that one, and then the board changes by the time it comes back to you, and maybe you can then make a connection, or that one word that you didn't want is gone, whatever.
For sure. No,
So,
for
yeah,
sure.
makes sense.
The difference here, I think the stakes are much lower in So Clover.
Yeah.
Where Codenames, you're actually playing against another team. And so if Codenames wasn't what it wouldn't work as well. But So Clover, I think, works also because the stakes are much lower. So it's not a huge deal if that happens to you. Because Emily had that a couple times where she's like, look, I couldn't think of a clue, so I just wrote it to be one word. So good luck.
Yeah.
You're going to have to hope the other one works, and then you can luck into that card. And it didn't ruin the game at all.
No.
And it was also more often than not that didn't happen.
Okay.
Right.
There was usually a way to combine the clues, usually. Overall, though, I loved it. Bought it. And I think it will see a regular spot in the party game rotation for a while.
I like that. It sounds great.
Really
I
good.
just looked it up. I think
probably you'll like it. What do you think, Natalie?
I also loved it. Obviously, I was immediately. We didn't even leave their house. I was like, buy this game.
Yep.
Steal this game from
Yep,
them.
steal
Take
it.
it from
Grab
them.
it.
I just like you said, it's to me just as fun as like Just One and all those word games, which I also love. And those are kind of games like I never get sick of. Like, I love playing them all the time.
Yep.
Like, especially like even with this one, there's gonna be like an unlimited like possibility of different word combinations, you know,
Yes.
so like it's not ever
It's
gonna be
difficult
like,
to balance.
oh, we get this combination all the time, so and we always use this word, you know, it's never gonna be like that.
That's a great point because every card has 4 words.
Right.
And so you could get the same card a bunch of times and never use it the same way.
Right, exactly. But yeah, I thought it was so fun. And like what you said, that you thought some people might not like playing both sides, you know, or having to come up with the clues and having to guess the clues. I liked that a lot because I like playing both sides.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you got to play both sides every turn, that was really fun for me. I even like that sometimes sometimes I would be trying to come up with words and they all were like so obvious to me. I'm like, oh, this. And then the next time, all of them were like so difficult. And I liked that because I'm like, ooh, I got to get clever. What do I do?
You have to get so
You gotta get so
clever.
clever.
So then when I thought of something, I got excited. And then sometimes, like you said, I was just like, I don't know, I'm just going to go with this. Hopefully they get it, you know? And
Yeah.
then it's kind of like that exciting, stressful when you guys are
are they
talking
gonna get on my
about it.
wavelength?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are like talking about it and like you can't say anything. Just
That's
like in
my favorite part
Codenames,
of the game.
where like, and then, you know, like Ryan, I think there was one time where you were like, I think it's this and this, and then on my head I'm like, yes, and then someone else is like, no, I think this is, and I'm like, fuck, no,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like,
Right. It does give you that
it's
Codenames
really
feel
fun.
in that way.
Yeah, I loved it, and I would have played it over and over and over again. So
Yeah, I loved it too. Great game. I thank Ben and Emily for introducing it to us. Ben, I think, just bought it on a whim at a game store.
Yeah,
He went
I
to their
think so,
local
too.
game store. He bought that and Galaxy Trucker. We played it. We played it a couple times that night. It was really fun. We had a great time over there. It was super fun hanging out with
it
them.
was
As
really
always,
fun.
we just laughed the whole time and had a great time. So that is So Clover. Jeff, what about you, man? You got something?
I do. So as I mentioned that this was the first week of school, and the week before we had some professional development, and Devin had school, game playing at the Madigan house has been at an all-time low, which is not okay.
You have, I mean, this was like the summer of Jeff for
know.
games. You were like,
I was just playing multiple times a week, and I think in the last 2 weeks, Devin and I have played a game together.
yeah.
Which that's not usually we're
You have to get back in the
about a
swing
week.
of it,
Yeah.
you know.
So the one game we did play together a few nights ago was Castles of Burgundy. So we did that was
that.
our
Yeah.
We just grabbed it because it was
know it.
it was Thursday night or something. We know it. Let's just play it, and we got it done in like less than an hour. It was like we just like cruised. It was great. It was a really fun play. We played with like the harder boards. I had like an 8 section of the brown buildings.
Wow,
And she
damn.
had like a 7 section of the farms.
That's tough because you can't
So we were
put
both
doubles
like,
in there.
Yeah, so we were
yeah.
both trying to battle. Luck, there's a little an expansion that you can add that adds another brown tile, so there's a
that's
little
cool.
more possibility, which is nice. So we were both kind of racing to get our bigger ones done, and we were like within like 3 points or something of each
that's
other. It was
cool.
like great.
Yeah,
So it was a
that's
really
fun.
fun play. And that was I thought about you guys on the Date Night Dice podcast when you talked about what's a game that is something you just grab and play, and that's on our top of our list too.
Yeah.
It's just here's a real game, and
Yep.
then let's grab and play it.
Yep.
But
we both know it. Yeah.
something that we've been playing a lot of that I've been holding off to review and talk about until we played it a lot, and I was kind of waiting for you guys, but
Yeah,
I'm
we were going
jumping
to
in.
play it, and we just
haven't.
we still need to.
Yeah.
I still want to.
So this goes right along the line with So Clover. This is a game called Gloomhaven: Jaws of the Lion.
Shit.
about the
Basically, I think it's just a
same-
re-theme.
I
of
think
So
Isaac
Clover.
Childress did So Clover
Yeah.
as well. He had $1 million Kickstarter
Actually, what I heard
for
was
it.
I heard that So Clover was designed first, and Jaws of the Lion was born
Oh, like
from
a spin-off
the design
of it.
Yeah,
Kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
patchwork
Yeah.
Seems
feels
right.
for a
yeah.
piece
Patchwork and a piece for Odin.
Yeah.
This is the same shit.
So Gloomhaven being maybe the most popular game ever.
Yeah.
Okay. In the hobby, right? I don't want to talk about that.
Especially in the last few years.
Yeah, because you can say, Ticket to Ride might be universally like the most known, but when you're in the hobby, everyone knows the name Gloomhaven, and Isaac Childress knows that everyone knows that game, so he's going to just spin off that thing over and over and over again. And this recent spin-off in 2020 is called Jaws of the Lion. So it's Gloomhaven : Jaws of the Lion. I'm just going to call it Jaws of the Lion because that's what it is.
Yeah, that's people know it as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out in 2020, and it's already number 5 on Board Game Geek.
And it was basically just billed as like Gloomhaven Light.
It is
Here's an
Gloomhaven Light.
introductory
Yeah.
Gloomhaven, and it's number 5.
And it's number 5. And Frosthaven will come out, and I'm sure that will also
Number 2 or
catapult
number 1.
itself
Top
up
10,
there.
yeah.
So good on him.
Hey, that's cool.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
It works. People love
And
it.
like Ryan said, advertised as Gloomhaven Light, and they even took it one step farther and said it is actually the events that take place before Gloomhaven.
It's a prequel?
It's prequel Gloomhaven.
Cool.
Uh-oh. Why do you look like that?
Pretty cool. I don't know.
Pretty
Why-
cool. Okay.
Natalie just makes faces sometimes.
I'm just smiling.
Yeah. So Jaws of the Lion and Gloomhaven itself are advertised as a cooperative Euro-inspired tactical combat game.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So I think the Euro-inspired is going to come along
Yeah, the
with
card
this
play?
card play.
Yeah, for sure.
Where players are working together, which is wonderful, to fight off monsters. And in Jaws of the Lion, the overarching theme is there are this mysterious disappearances that are happening throughout the city. Does that come through? I don't know. It's just like you're fighting things.
Yeah.
Think of an Ameritrash game. You're moving, you're fighting, you're doing that kind of stuff.
Is regular Gloomhaven cooperative also?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and regular Gloomhaven is a massive
Yeah,
game
that one
with
is like legacy style stuff. You're like growing old. Your characters will die, and then you like get new characters.
Yeah.
And you're opening boxes and stuff like that.
It's a big thing. So this is definitely on a lighter scale. This is
Yeah.
still a campaign. You could sub somebody out and teach them the
More
rules, but
realistically.
yeah, we're playing the 4 of us. So we have the 4. That's the maximum. So you have 4 characters. So we're playing through this. We have
Who's the 4? You, Joe, Dave, Bill?
yeah. So it's whenever Joe will pick it on occasionally when it's his night to play. So we've played it about 7 or 8 times.
Okay.
So yeah, there's this mysterious stuff that's happening in the city, and we're going into dungeons to fight all these things. There's 4 new characters, so if you've played Gloomhaven, these are new characters. What I also think is kind of cool is if you are a Gloomhaven freak, you can take these 4 characters after playing Jaws of the Lion and put them into Gloomhaven if you'd like.
Oh, that's
which I think
cool.
is kind of neat. I don't really know how that would work, or if you have to
interesting.
like retroactively go back to the beginning, or if they start Gloomhaven as that
pop
character.
the
I don't really know,
powerful,
but I
yeah.
think that's a cool
That's really cool.
That's a cool addition to the game. So all of them have their own kind of specialty, just like many of these Ameritrash games. So I'm the demolitionist in this game, which is the character that I usually pick in games like this, where it just like does damage and he's just like the fighter. He's like the guy goes
Nez.
in. So yeah, it's like Nez in Mice and Mystics. Every character is usually that guy for me because I like just fighting things.
Yeah.
He does a lot of melee damage. He blows things up. There's, Dave has like kind of healing and can move other people. And then there's the ranged attack guy. There's all these like people. They're kind of, I don't want to say stereotypical, but they're in a lot
like
of games.
archetypes. Yeah.
So the setup for Jaws of Lion is apparently much more streamlined than Gloomhaven, which I've heard is the worst thing about Gloomhaven.
Me too.
Is that people will just set it up and leave it there because it takes way too long.
It takes so long, yeah.
So the way that I think this is more streamlined is through this use of a storybook, kind of like Stuffed Fables or Near and Far. Or so you're just flipping pages instead of setting up just a shit ton of tiles. And that helps, I think, for a setup. And there's also, I think, just less bits and chits and less monsters to sort through and all that kind of stuff. There's just less of it.
Are there minis or are they all standees?
They're all your characters are minis.
Okay.
And then the monsters are standees.
Are they minis that you could paint?
They're very Well, me, no. You, yes.
People could paint.
People could paint them, and they have painted them, and they look great. They're very small.
Oh, okay.
And I think it would be like painting a D&D mini where they're just tiny.
Yeah.
Especially my demolitionist guy is like half the size of other people. He's like this little guy who carries around bombs.
Yeah.
So he might be the hardest or maybe the easiest. I don't really know about painting, but he's not like the chibis like you guys have been painting.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, to just set this game up, you have the board is populated with the stuff for that mission, right? Monsters, doors, treasure chest, obstacles, blah, blah, blah. Shit like that for an Ameritrash game. The Euro aspect of this game and the crux of Jaws of the Lion is this hand management card play system. And I think this is where most people get attracted to this game who might not be attracted to this game. Because it's not just move, roll dice, fight, you win or you lose. This card play system creates more decisions. So that is where I got drawn in to the game more than I would have thought, because this is not my type of game.
Right.
If you've listened to the show, I'm more of a Euro gamer, worker placement. Give me some, if I'm using dice, they better be as dice placement for something, right?
Yeah.
So this is me explaining this game from a Euro standpoint. This is what drew me into that, I think. And you start with some cards, right? Throughout the campaign, just like in campaign games, you're going to add more cards to improve your actions and all that kind of stuff, right? Oh, you beat mission 3? Here's a new pack of cards. You get to open them. And then at the beginning of the mission, you get to pick a certain amount of cards depending on your level. So I'm level 2, I get 9 cards. And I can now pick at the beginning of the game, you only start with 9 cards. Those are your cards. And then you add more cards and you pick 9 of those. And then you get more cards and you pick 9 of those, right? And then you might get 10 or 11. So that's how the card play goes. And then as the game starts, you pick 2 cards from your hand. So if the 3 of us were playing, I would pick 2 cards. I keep them face down. Ryan would pick 2 cards. Natalie would pick 2 cards. And then each card has 2 actions on it. You have to use 1 action on the top and 1 action on the bottom. So both cards are getting used, but you can't use both the bottom actions or both the top actions. One has to be the top, one has to be the bottom.
You can't use both on one card.
Yes, you can't use both on one card. So the fun for me and the challenge for me is finding those combinations in the right moment to do the best thing.
Yeah.
Or to go, well, I want to keep these cards for my next turn because I think my next turn I can be able to do this. So let me just get rid of one, right? Just use it for nothing or move or something, right? And then all those cards have initiatives on it. So whoever has the lowest goes first, and the monsters have initiatives. And then basically you just take your actions. So the initiative track says, all right, Ryan's going to go first. He's going to take his 2 actions and do something. And then the monsters are going to go, and they're going to go. And then I'm going to go, and then Natalie's going to go. And you basically are just taking the actions on your cards. Yes, Natalie?
I have a question.
Yes?
What you just described with the cards and like playing them, is that called hand management?
Yeah. I would call it hand
'Cause
management
I saw
for sure.
that word, that mechanic come up a bunch when I was looking at Gencon games, and I was like, I think I know what that means, but I just want to
Yeah.
like, is that like
It's a very general term, hand management, just for you have a hand of cards and you have to figure out how to use them the best way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like resource management, except that you're using cards in your hand.
And those cards, that card play is the same as Gloomhaven.
Right.
And I don't know if Frosthaven's going to be the same.
Yes,
Probably
it is.
if I had
No,
to.
it
Okay,
is.
it is.
It is.
So once you do that, you basically you do that over and over and over again until you win or you lose, right? And the actions that you do are the same kind of Ameritrash stuff. Move, fight, heal, push people, poison monsters, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There are...
I want to play this now.
There are these... You do? There are these elements that I believe also are in Gloomhaven that change the way the game are played a little bit, and that gets introduced throughout the gameplay. So the first couple plays, you don't have these elements, and then as you get new cards, you insert these elements. So there's like 6 of them, and I might play a card that might boost up the wind element. So then it goes all the way up. And then if Ryan has a card on his turn that actually uses the wind element, it's probably a sweet action. Then you use the wind element. So there's this dynamic of, oh, let me boost up this fire one because I know Ryan's got a lot of fire cards in it. You try to kind of play and help each other out. Or it lasts for 2 turns, so if nobody uses it, you can then use it the next turn. So maybe you try to set yourself up. There's the management of that. I'm assuming later in the games, the monsters are going to be able to use that or abuse it or slide it. You know, they're going to be able to mess with that kind of system as well, which I think is kind of cool. Just another layer, I think, that might attract people to this game versus other roll and hit and move kind of games. Yeah. So yeah, you're basically going until someone dies, and the way that you die is you. So let's say I start with my 9 cards. I play my cards until I don't have enough to play 2 on my turn. And then I take a short rest or a long rest. Basically, I'm discarding one of my cards. Oh. So now I pick up, and now I'm back to 8.
Okay.
And I go and I go and I go, and then I'm now to 7 and 6. Once there is a moment where you can't play both cards, you don't have 2 cards to play. You die. You kind of die. There's ways of like, all right, other people can do something to kind of bring you back to life for a second. But that's, if you get to that point, you're in trouble. Or your health just goes all the way down. And people around the table are dying. Or you just beat the mission. So you either win or lose. And at the end, there's some story. You go to a town, you see a guy, do you want to buy him a drink, blah, blah, blah. There's like, so far the storylines have been lame.
You don't care.
I don't really care. We just, so far we've just like done the evil thing. They're like, hey, do you want to buy this guy a drink? Really? And we're like, fuck no, we're not buying this guy a drink. And instead it's like, you know, we would have gotten something sweet, but instead we don't because we're just a-holes. We're trying to play our characters, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you my really thoughts. Funny. This is not my type of game.
Yeah.
If I ranked my top 100 games on Board Game Geek,
this is not in it.
This is not. Okay, 100 is
that's a lot.
50.
I know. That's
Let's go 25 to 50. This would not be on it.
Yeah.
When I first looked at like these lists of, you go on BGG, you look at why is Gloomhaven number 1? Why is Jaws of the Lion number 5? That annoyed me as a Eurogamer. But I get why people love this game so much. I'm not going to go as far as say I love this game and it's my favorite game of all time. But I understand why people love it and why people are coming back to the name over and over and over again. So I think the card play makes the game playable for me. If there wasn't card play and I was just like,
rolling dice,
here's the 3 actions you can do. Move, attack points. 3, and whatever. I would never want to play this game again. But the evolution of the cards are very cool. I get more cards every handful of missions. That's kind of neat. You know, I look at the board and I say, oh, there's a lot of obstacles on this one. My guy can blow those up, so I should keep cards that blow up obstacles. There are certain cards that have awesome actions that if you use it, it actually just gets discarded right away. So when do I use that? So the hand management, Natalie, is where I think why I like this game as a Euro gamer.
Yeah.
There are some things that I don't enjoy that I think are just kind of like annoying. There's this, what they call like the attack deck. So I have a monster in front of me. I play my card. It says I attack at 3. And then there's this deck of cards that I have that I flip over one of it. And it either says like +1, -1, negate, double.
So that's like,
so there's plans that just,
roll.
Yeah, it's like mimicking the die roll, right? It's adding the randomness to your attack, which can be really fucking annoying when you have this plan set up and you flip over you just don't attack him at all. Like, it just negates your entire attack. And then that card has to get shuffled right back into your deck. Or, it's obviously sweet when the double comes out. But, for someone, again, who likes Euro games more, who likes to plan things out and go, all right, I'm going to be able to kill this person. Stuff, and then Dave's going to be able to go through the door and be there. And then I don't kill him because I flipped over some card. So I made the right plan, and a card flip ruined me, and now he can't do his turn, and his turn's ruined.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. There is this goofy thing. You get this secret objective card at the beginning of your game. You get 2 of them. You get to pick one. If you complete the secret objective, you get like this little check mark, and the check marks actually help you take out the bad cards that are in that attack deck,
cool.
Which is cool. But the objective cards are really random, and I don't like them. Like, for example, I got one that says, don't kill any monster.
Oh, that's like impossible, right?
And I'm like, well, that's not what, like, my job in the game is to kill the monster.
Yeah.
Right, I also got one that was like, kill 5 monsters. I got one that was like, stay by the wall. So the moment I stepped away from a wall,
you can't.
I couldn't get my secret objective. One was just like, die. or don't ever take a long rest.
Yeah,
or
that
don't
just
ever,
seems
and I'm like,
lazy, doesn't it?
it pulls me too far from the game, and like trying to just do this mission and thinking about something and just being selfish in the game doesn't make sense to me. I didn't want to. Oh well, guys, I could kill this thing, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So,
Right. So
good
I
luck.
can get rid of
Why
this.
don't you all kill him so I can get one more check mark? It's like, if I think about the game, we're going in a dungeon, we're crawling, we're fighting together. But I'm going to say, fuck you, fuck the game, I can't kill this monster, which might help everybody. Or I kill it and I ignore this thing, and now my deck is still bad. And so Dave and I have only gotten, I think, one or two like check marks because our missions have been annoying.
Yeah.
that
So
seems lazy. To me.
that being
Like,
reliant,
could make it.
yeah, I just
better.
didn't. I didn't love
wanna
that.
play
There's sometimes
Yes, I
where
do.
your turns can just be ruined. Like if things go out of order or a monster goes before you, so you might just like cards might just not play, and that randomness I'm okay with, because that's the kind of stuff that just might not go your way. Right in a Euro game, Ryan puts a worker there. Shit, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Now I have to figure out something else. That's like monster goes first. He moved. Now I can't attack him. Let me now figure out something else.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm okay with that randomness, but it can be frustrating if it happens 2 or 3 times in a row. Where there was one mission where I had 2 turns where I couldn't fit through the opening that we were going through because there was like monsters and stuff, and I was like, well, I guess I'll discard my cards and just kind of pass. So that sucked. I don't think that's going to happen all the time. It was just kind of that.
So
moment.
you can get into a situation where you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
That sucks.
How much have you played this?
So we played it about 8 times, 7 or 8 times, and we're past like the first 4 or something introduce you to the card play and the system and all that kind of stuff. So we're into the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time commitment. Like this is 25 plays, which for me of a game is a lot.
Wow.
And
so this is
a
like the
lot.
introductory game. This is still a big game.
Yeah. And what's on the flip side of that, what's amazing about it is you can find this game for under $50. So if you're into this stuff and you're into this game, 25 plays for $50 is
That's
great.
a huge
Deal.
value.
Yeah.
Is great. Versus again, you're getting 100 plays out of Gloomhaven, which bigger setup, bigger whatever. It's probably also bigger rewards and amazing
Well, let me ask
experiences.
you: does
I
it
get that.
feel like you're playing some introductory variant of something, or does it feel
No.
like you're playing a
real
game?
game.
It feels like I'm playing a game. Like
Okay.
this feels like if you would have told me Gloomhaven didn't exist, like
Yeah,
if Gloomhaven didn't
right.
exist in my
This
head
would
and I
still
just
be-
played this, I
yeah.
wouldn't think of like, isn't there more to this game? I
Okay.
wouldn't think
Okay.
that. Maybe the first couple, right, when they're introducing all these
Yeah, but
mechanics.
that's
But now
on
that we
purpose.
have the elements, we have new cards, we have these, these different missions. Like once that happened, it's like, okay, now I'm in the game. I don't feel like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
playing.
Well, I need the next. Yeah, this is just the baby's first.
I'm not
Gloomhaven.
playing just baby's
Right.
first Gloomhaven. So overall, I'm enjoying playing it, and that's from someone who likes
Yeah.
swings toward Euro games. I'm
Right.
enjoying playing it. There are some downsides that frustrate me as I'm playing because of how I plan things and work things out in my head. But like when Joe picks it, I'm like, okay, cool. We get to,
Yeah,
I
let's
get
see
to
what- let's see
blow
what
some
happens
shit
this
up
time.
in Gloomhaven.
How long does each
play take.
play take?
Probably between an hour and 2 hours, depending on how well it goes or how terrible it goes.
So, geez, this is a 25 to 50 hours maybe you're
Yeah.
getting out of this.
I'm probably closer to 50 because the first couple are probably quick. I'm assuming they're going to be because the storybook actually comes with a second storybook. So there's like one, and then for a bigger board, you'd have like the second one would lay next to it, kind of thing. I see why it's so good. It's still I'm not going to put this in my top 10 games of the year. It's not my game.
You see why the people who like that
It's like an
kind of game
achievement.
Like it.
Exactly.
It's like an achievement in design.
Yeah.
Like, how does he? That's one thing that. Okay, I have my reservations about Gloomhaven. I played the original design back with Isaac and hated it. Honestly, I kind of didn't like him.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think you're just kind of being a jerk. I felt like, and so that made me not back it. This game's going to be nothing. Of course, number one game.
Of course, it's
number
like
one
the
game.
number
Yeah,
the
the
one.
number
biggest
one game
game,
of all,
yeah.
this game ever. But one thing I will say, and I'll say this, that what I just said about Isaac, that was my first impression of him. Literally, all I've ever heard about the guy is that he's like the nicest
Yeah.
guy. So maybe he was having a rough
Yeah, maybe
day
it's bad-
or
having a bad
something.
day.
Because it wasn't just me. Jeremy we were both like, what the hell is wrong with him?
Something happened
Like,
15 minutes before
he
you
was,
met him.
Yeah, he was having the bad day or something. So I withhold judgment of Isaac, but that did make me not back the game.
Yeah.
I'll say that. However, I've only heard he's like the nicest guy ever. But my main point is the stuff that's in Gloomhaven and in Frosthaven, and it sounds like maybe even in Jaws of the Lion. How does one person design that
And
to such a
yeah.
way that it's not just works, but it's like people consider it the best thing that's ever been?
It's crazy.
So, I mean, kudos to him for that. And
Yeah.
I think that's really impressive, if nothing else.
I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think because I think You guys might really like it.
I want to play
think
it
because
very
it is
badly.
cooperative. You can work together. You can kind of, again...
Do you think it'd be a good with 2?
Yeah.
Do we have to like play multiple characters? Do you know?
I don't think so. I think you'd play with 2. They might shift like what monsters are in the... I think, we're playing with 4, so there might be 8 monsters in there. If you play with 2, it might only be 4 monsters.
Yeah, it scales
Right,
down.
And yeah, I think it would work fine with 2. And I think you guys just... The way you work and communicate, I think that would be it could be a very fun experience
I want to play it for
for
sure.
you guys.
I mean, I have my reservations. I will give anything a chance, but
I don't blame you. I don't
Going
blame you.
into it,
Jeff's
hating it.
We are the...
feelings on it are
We have
I
a
feel
similar
like
brain.
I might like it, but I definitely won't like.
You're not going to come downstairs, and if
Love
Ryan's
it.
like, do you want to play Castles of Burgundy or Gloomhaven or Jaws of the Lion, you're going to be like, I want to play Castles of Burgundy.
Right.
I want to play Underwater Cities. I want to
Yeah.
play Lorenzo. But if Ryan had it set up and you played it, I don't think you would be miserable.
Yeah, like I
'Cause, I
feel
mean,
like
remember
its
when
best
we went
bet
through-
is like I'll be like I'll like it enough.
We went through Shadows of
But I'm not gonna
Brimstone,
be like-
and you seem to enjoy that. We played the shit out of that game.
If you like that, that might...
Yeah,
And
in that
this is
world,
a similar kind of
but
thing.
that was like
Yeah, it was early in your gaming.
that was early, but
still.
also it was. I don't remember it super well, but what I remember
Played a lot.
is it wasn't that in depth, right?
Right.
There wasn't that much to it.
This with the
that
card
true?
play is a little better, I think, because again, in Brimstone is I don't want to simplify it, but it is more of a move. Here's what power I have, and this is what I can
Yeah.
do. This with the hand management might attract you to it a little more.
Yeah.
We got to give it a shot.
Okay.
So that is
I'm totally-
Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion by Cephalofair
Yeah,
Games, which is
Cephalofair?
that's Isaac's.
it's just Isaac Shoulders.
It's Isaac. Yes,
I'm
Isaac
surprised you
Childers.
didn't- yeah.
Right.
I'm surprised you
Yeah,
didn't call
Isaac
him
Childers
Isaac
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
exactly.
American.
Yeah, he is. So another game we got to the table is this new Flip and Right game that we have. Jeff and I have been looking at for our Gen Con list actually, and it is out now. And I picked up a copy. It's from Game Right, designed by Phil Walker Harding, called Super Mega Lucky Box.
I like Phil Walker. Harding.
Yeah, right. He's the Baron
Is
Park
that the
dude.
one
and-
that Ben and Em on their latest episode, I feel like talked about.
They
them.
did talk about
Him
Phil
up
Walker
there, like,
Harding a
We played
lot.
a bunch of Phil Walker Harding,
Yeah, they just played Baron Park, I believe.
and there was another one like Summer Camp. Was that it?
Yeah, Summer Camp is Phil Walker Harding.
Okay, did not know. The letters on the front are reminiscent of like the Schoolhouse Rock cartoon, and it just has this whimsy and inviting look to it. On the cover of the box, it also makes a very, very bold statement. It says, Super Mega Lucky Box, a spectacularly fun game.
Wow.
So that front of the box promises a lot.
Yep.
You look at it and think, this is going to be something. Natalie said to me after we played that she was excited looking at the box like, oh man, what's this going to be? Some cool party game like I never played before? What it really is a simple flip and right game. Think along the lines of Silver and Gold meets like Bingo. The way Super Mega Lucky Box works is you each have 3 cards in front of you. These cards have a 3x3 grid of numbers between 1 and 9 on them. You also have a dry erase marker. There is a stack of cards that you're going to flip up and reveal, made up of 18 cards, 2 copies of 1 through 9. Okay, you shuffle that deck of 18 and then use 9 of them for each round. Each turn, you just flip the top card up, say it's a 7, and then you cross one instance of the number 7 on any one of those 3 cards in front of you. That's it. Once you cross off all numbers in a row or a column, there's usually a bonus that you unlock, like crossing off another number somewhere else on your other cards, or collecting a star point that you can use to score at the end of the game, or collecting these lightning bolt or moon tokens. The game is played across 4 rounds. Each round consists of 9 turns. Like I said, those 9 cards. If you manage to cross off every number on a card, you score points for that card at the end of the round. Depending on what round it is, you'll score more or less points. Complete cards earlier in the game, like I said, you'll score more. The lightning bolt tokens I told you about are a way to mitigate the card flip. So let's say I need the number 7 to complete a card. Right, I have everything crossed off on my 3x3 except the number 7. And then the card that just flipped up is 9. Right, so damn, that's not going to help me flip. That's not going to help me cross off and complete that card. And I don't have any number 9s on the other card. So you think like, oh, I just can't do anything. And if you don't have any lightning bolt tokens, you can't do anything. You're just kind of screwed for that card. But if you have a lightning bolt token, you can spend as many of them as you want or that you have to increase or reduce the number on the card for just you by 1 per token. So if I spend 2 tokens, I will effectively have turned that 9 into a 7. Only for me, though. Okay. Which will allow me to then complete that card, get the bonuses of the row and the column, if any, and then, potentially use those to chain into other fun things on your turn. It just goes on like that until the end of the 4th round, at which point you total up points, and whoever has the most is the winner. So things I liked. I really liked how quick this game was. It's a standard flip and write. So it's very simple and straight to the point. You flip a card, you cross off what you see, you collect bonuses and score points. Rinse and repeat until the end. The game does not do anything different at all than any other flip and write or roll and write you've ever played before. But I feel like it's still a solid entry into the genre. It's always fun to use a couple lightning bolt tokens in a way that gets you that number you need crossed off, that starts this chain of bonuses. And so the potential for really cool turns, which I love in games, you all know that, is high in this game. That happens. And when it does happen, it feels good. Things I didn't like so much. That's about as exciting as the game gets. It feels good. It doesn't feel awesome or super fun
or super mega
or spectacularly fun or neat and fresh. I would not say that this is a spectacularly fun game like it's billed on the front. I think that's giving it a bit too much credit. I don't think it's better or worse than any other flip and write. The game isn't bad at all. It doesn't do anything that makes me dislike it. But it also doesn't really do anything that separates itself. You'll play this for the first time and instantly feel like you've played it before, which is not a terrible thing. But I mean, if you have other roll and write or flip and writes in your collection, this does not do enough to be like, I gotta get that one too. Unless you just really, really love that genre and you just want to play them all. Overall, I like the game. I think it's even, I would say it's better than good, not great. I just think it's a couple years too late. The roll and write genre was like really popular a couple years ago. Like they were just like churning it. This feels like it missed the boat because this would have, if this came out 2 years ago, I think it's like
when they were all first like
when they were like, oh wow, look at these. This would be another like, oh my god, entry. But this is, it feels like it's exactly the same thing as every other roll and write, flip and write I've ever played 2 years later. It just almost seems like
stale.
Well, like it's not in the right time. Like it just came out too late. Yeah. Like it just missed the boat. It just that's the way it feels. The genre is not the thing anymore. So it doesn't. If it did something different, it could work. But I don't know. That's how I feel. What do you think, Natalie?
This game was not spectacularly fun. In fact,
let me ask you both a question. If you could rename the tagline to this instead of what is it?
Spectacularly fun game.
If you could rename what would it say?
Regular roll and write.
Yeah. Super Mega Lucky Box. Just another
regular roll.
Yeah. I would be like just another flip and write.
Yeah, or flip and write, whatever it is.
Just meh.
I felt like it was barely even fun at all.
Ooh, barely fun.
This is welcome to the board game beatdown.
Yeah. No, I mean
Super Mega Lucky Box. Barely fun.
I was gonna say you made some good points.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Okay. I agree. If I played this and it was the very first flip and write game that I played, I probably would have liked it.
Yeah, you'd be like, wow, this is cool.
The fact that I've played a bunch of them, like this one did nothing for me. When we played it, after we played it at first, and I agree, I was a bit disappointed. The box did hype it up.
It's a cool looking box.
When he got this in the mail, I had no idea what this game was.
So caught my attention.
So when I saw the name of it and stuff, I was like, ooh, like what's this going to be? And then I was like,
that's the Walker Harding's name on it. Yeah. It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, this is it? Like, this is the game?
She did not like it.
Then he was like grilling me. He's like, why don't you like it? He's like, it feels the same as like Silver and Gold or Crisscross, which you love, which is like a nothing kind of little game. And I was like, I know, you're right. All I can tell you is that I just didn't have fun playing it. But now
you've seen it before.
You were just saying what you were saying, I think I realized that it's just that it, like you said, it's too late. You know, like I played all these other ones. Like, yeah, Crisscross, maybe there's something about it because that was the first type of game or one of the first that I played like that. So I thought it was fun. So when I play another game that's literally just like that, why would I like this better than that? You know, like there's nothing to it. There's nothing new. There's nothing that's going to like make me want to play this ever again. You know, like I would play it. You know, it's not like bad. It's not like, oh, this game sucks. I hate it. Like it was more just like I would never ever choose to play
Why
this.
pick it?
Yeah. Ever. But if someone was like, hey, want to play this? I'd be like, okay.
Okay. Meh.
And another thing was
another thing.
I don't see this game being that different each play, which is another reason that I don't want to continue playing it. Is like either
there you go, Jeff.
Basically either like I'm gonna do decent, you know, and probably win, or I'm gonna do bad and then lose. Like that's the like swing, you know. And it's just like
that's how I do it every game.
What?
I do really well and win.
Either win or you lose.
You know,
I know exactly what you're saying.
And luck, you
Yeah,
know,
I understand.
Like I might, get some stuff that works out, and then the next game I might get some stuff that doesn't work out.
It did
so
not
it's just like
make-
that's how exciting
It wasn't exciting.
feels.
Yeah, it was like the excitement level. So it's like, you know what it is? It's like, okay, let's talk about Quacks Quedlinburg. You're either hating your fucking life, you want to burn the house down,
Yeah.
or you are having more
When you're
fun than
high,
you've ever
you're high.
had
When you're
ever.
low, you're
This
low.
game,
Yeah.
Super Mega Lucky Box, is what happens in the middle. You never have that low where you're like,
Right.
fuck this game, but you also never have like, this is so fun. It's like you're right in the middle where it's like, this is
Yeah,
okay.
And I don't ever see that changing. I don't see us playing another game and then it's not like that.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
funny too
that's-
because this is like, I would say it feels like there's more to this game than something like Second Chance, but I'd rather play Second Chance. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I'd rather play Silver and Gold over this. Although maybe not. This game, I like that a little better than you. It's just, it
There's
just
something
doesn't
about,
do
like,
enough,
Second
man.
Chance, at least,
You can use colored pencils.
yeah, you get to color, but no, but really,
Well, polyominoes, too.
the big thing is like you have this open board and you're drawing these cards and you get to choose like
Yeah, the
how
potential
do I wanna,
of where you could
yeah
go.
how do I want to fit this in. This is just like, do I want to cross off this 7 or this 7, you know? And so like it's more fun making that decision of what to do with the card you flipped in Second Chance than which 7 do I want to cross
That's a
off?
good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then, I mean, maybe this is like, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I also felt like one of the rules in the game is if whoever has the most moons gets plus 6 points.
Yeah, there's these moon
Whoever
tokens.
has the least amount
loses 6 points.
loses 6
Ooh,
points.
it's
But
tough
we
on
only,
a two-player game.
Yeah, it's
Well,
tough
in
on
a two-player game, you don't lose the 6
Okay.
points.
Oh, that's right. We played.
The person
both.
gets the 6 points. You don't.
Then I'm not going to
yeah,
say
you don't
that.
lose.
But
the
that does
6
seem
points.
like a really big advantage or disadvantage.
Yeah, and that's random
That
because
is
the
not-
cards you get
so-
could
Right,
might
because I
not
can
have.
keep picking
That's a
cards
game
that don't
right
give
rule.
me moons, and you can get cards that give you like 15 moons. So like, okay, well, you just get 6 points, and
For some reason,
Yeah.
I can name two like game rate. So this one,
Yep.
Sushi Go and Go Nuts for Donuts, I think all have a very similar rule where the top person
Yeah,
wins. The top
yeah,
moon.
yeah.
yeah.
You're right.
So let me summarize the hatred.
it's just like, eh.
If you don't have a game like Crisscross, Ganchon Clever, which is also what it kind of sounded like with those bonuses, that seems cool, or Silver and Gold or
Ganchon
something.
Clever is so much better than this.
Yeah. This might be a game you want to look into. If you
Yes.
have those other games, there's no point
Right.
of reaching.
You want to
you have
try
not-
out a flippin'
Yeah, if you're
right,
new
and
to the
you've never
hobby-
Not jumped into the
Yeah,
flip and right
you
genre.
probably like
This is
this.
really fun. It's got whimsical artwork. It's very, very, very quick,
Very
which is its
quick.
best mark
Yes.
for it. You can rattle off a few games
you
of
don't
this
have any in
very
your,
quickly.
in your collection and you want to try one out, I'd say, yeah, do it. Like,
Well, so that's
I don't
what I'm
think it's
saying. I
bad.
think it's even a
but
little-
we've played like at least 10 of these same games that are, and I think most of them are better than this. So for me, for us, I don't think this is something that we're going to want to keep playing. But if you haven't, then you probably would think this is pretty fun.
Yeah, to me it's weird. It feels like if a game like Dominion that was almost a carbon copy of Dominion just came out like right now.
Sure.
You know,
I
it's
get that.
almost like what?
I get. Well, I'm going to cross it off my
Been
Gen Con
done
list
before.
because
You know, like
it did seem cool. The box cover grabbed me
box
because
cover's
of
awesome.
Schoolhouse
It's a-
Rock.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a
and-
good game. I don't mind. I think it's a good game. I like it. I actually like it. I would play it again. I'm a little bummed to hear Natalie would never want to play it again.
Yeah,
'cause
so
I
if you
would
want
play
it,
again.
reach out to the Gamecasters Instagram account.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I mean,
I will
I'll
sell
play
to you.
it, but like, if you're like, hey, let's play this, because like you said, it's like literally like 5 minutes long, you know. So like, I'd be like, okay, but like,
Natalie's
I wouldn't-
face about this entire game has been amazing.
It was
like-
fun. We
It's like 5
played
minutes
it the
long.
first
Fine,
time, and she
play
was
it.
like, "Ugh, I don't like that." I'm like, "You didn't?" She's like, "No," and I'm like, "Didn't it feel like the same as everything else we played on?" Because I was kind of like, "Oh, it just feels like the same old thing." And she's like, "I guess I don't know. I didn't have any fun." I was like, "Why? Wait a minute.
Well, she
What?
wasn't
That doesn't make
expecting
any sense to
spectacular
me."
fun.
I think I was.
So-
I think it overhyped.
It disappointed
The box
you.
overhyped it.
The box does look awesome,
Right.
and you got Phil Walker Harding's name on it, which is
Yeah.
like, oh, this could be something special.
Yeah,
It's not.
I got
It's
really
weird.
excited. He's like, oh, I got this game in the mail. Look at what it's called. And
That's exactly what Ryan sounds like.
Yeah, and you know, he's like, we're gonna play it right now, and I'm like, okay, you know. And then
I was excited.
He's like, he opens it, and he's like, this is it, and I was like, oh.
It's a flipping ride.
So I,
God
don't, if you
damn
don't
it.
listen to me, listen more to Ryan. But
I feel mostly the same way you do, to be honest with you. But I like it more than you did. I had
Yeah.
fun with it still. It's not a bad game. It
No,
doesn't
it's
do
not.
anything
It's not.
wrong. It's just, to me, I feel like it's just like it missed the boat.
Missed
Yeah.
the pun.
Missed-
I don't even know what you said.
Oh my god.
Nobody will.
No
This is
worries.
something that
Cut that
if
out.
I cut this out,
Just cut it out. Look at the time. What's the timestamp on it?
not.
Chop, 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 chop.
Oh God. Okay, Jeff. What else you got, dude?
Oh, I got a game. So I got another game from a publisher, 25th Century Games.
Oh, what do you think about 25th Century Games, Natalie?
Natalie?
Natalie,
Natalie says, oh, yeah.
from the bathroom.
From the bathroom.
Yeah.
So 25th Century Games, I want to update us on the last game that I reviewed from 25th Century Games was Jurassic Parts.
Yeah, Jurassic Parts.
Chad has listened to our last episode. We talked about Jurassic Parts and he has confirmed that the dinosaur sex expansion is on its way. So if you were looking to dig up dinosaur wieners, it's in the next one.
That was a good moment by now. There.
Yeah, that was great. So this game is called Cloud Control, much lighter game. This is a party game. So if we're
Yeah.
sticking, we have some light games in this episode.
Yep, this
we
is
have
a light
Jaws of the
game
Lion
episode.
and then a bunch of light games.
Right, a bunch of light games.
So this game is called Cloud Control. We just played it a few minutes ago here
Control,
at the table that we're
Major
recording.
Tom.
And as you might be able to guess, you're creating pictures in the clouds.
I can't believe no one has done that before.
I know.
That's like such an a childhood
Yeah, like, look
nostalgic
up. What
memory
does it look
everyone
like?
has.
Oh, it
Yeah,
looks
what
like
does that
turtle.
look
It
like? I
looks
see
like
a
this.
penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Speaking of, at the wedding, did you draw any dicks anywhere or anything?
You know what? There was a wedding book. Natalie didn't let me go near it.
Okay.
She
box you
She-
out.
yeah,
You were like, I'm going to go get a drink
I'm
of
gonna go-
water.
yeah. She's like,
no,
Jericho, don't go near that book.
no.
Don't go near that book.
Ryan, get away from there.
Strong penises.
You run away. So, yeah, party game, creating pictures in the clouds. Cute theme, cool art. So there are 16 different shapes of clouds, and there's 4 of each shape. So the shapes could be just like a circle, like 2 triangles, 1 triangle. And you just basically have a bunch of shapes, okay? Most of them are connected to one of the edges, so you can try to make these things sort of connect. But the round begins with one player drawing a card, and on that card there's a list of objects. So there's 4 things on there, each with a point value next to it. For example, you have things like, in our game we had sidewalk, welcome mat, cat, dog, chimney, guillotine,
Father.
a whole bunch of father, mother's probably on there somewhere.
Yeah.
There's 300 cards, each with 4 different words on it. So what is that? 1,200 words.
That's a lot of.
That's a
nice.
lot. I took these cards out. And I'm like, we don't need
Yeah.
nearly any of these
Right.
cards. So I put
10 of
the
them is
majority
like
of them
all we
back
need.
in the box.
Yeah.
But that's great because you're getting variability, and if you're playing lots and lots of times, if there's only 30 cards in this box.
Wait, the 2 giant stacks we had on the table was not even all of them?
that was a
like-
third of them.
Yeah, there was 3 stacks.
Wow.
Yeah,
We
I
could
put the
play
other
with
ones
just
away 'cause
that
I was like-
stack for like 50 games and not see the same cards.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what's great, because at some point you'd be able to be like, oh, this is what the bunny looks like. Let me make a bunny like
Yeah.
this.
Right.
But with that many cards, it's insane.
Wow.
So, and then what you do, there's a 90-second timer. You flip the timer over, and the person who has the card in front of them, what's nice is the little thing comes with a little stand, so you don't have to keep picking up the card and looking
is
at
cool.
it. I like that addition. You are grabbing these 16 different shapes of clouds, and you're organizing them in front of you to make the first picture, and then everybody at the table's trying to guess it. So you're looking at it and you're like, oh, is it a walking path? Is it shoes? Is it a boot? Is it something? And then
walking
as
path.
soon as someone guesses, oh, it's sidewalk. Okay, good. Then you kind of push those cards aside. You go on the next one and you try to make those. It feels like that theme is kind of, not the theme, but the way that game works is in so many games, right? You're trying to create something everybody's guessing.
Yep.
Right? A Pictionary type of game. But this
so
you're
Clover.
doing with, with clouds.
With pictures.
And you get points every time the round marker, I guess, goes back to the first player. So every time you've taken 1 turn all the way around, there's this lightning round. And the lightning round, 1 card gets drawn, and there's a little lightning word at the bottom. And then everybody makes their own version of that word. And then at the table, you kind of vote who you think has the best one. You go around, you explain like what the heck it was. And then everybody votes. You can't vote for yourself. You vote for somebody else. Person who has the most votes gets a little more points. Again, this is a game where the points don't really matter. And you just go around twice trying to get people to guess your words using the clouds. And that is it.
Simple. Sweet.
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead. I can start.
So-
I'll start.
okay.
No, you start.
No, you
Natalie,
start.
you want to go?
And then now
The
she
person who
starts.
describes it starts.
Okay.
Oh,
That's what you do.
that's me. That's what you do.
I just go. That's all I do. I
Yeah.
don't ask. Jeff is kinder than me. He
So-
asks first.
I liked the art. Okay, there's not much, but the box cover is very cool.
Yeah, the box cover
And
was cool.
Yeah.
I think that even just the little cards, you can't put too much on them because you need them to be a shape. But I thought they
Yeah,
did
each
enough.
card has to be able to do a million different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to. It's got to
Yeah.
be simple.
So I thought there obviously a ton of playtesting went into what the shape should be and how do those shapes make the words. And people who are extremely creative could crush this game and do so well. I had fun. It was really fun it was fun guessing. So I went last, so I got to guess twice before it was my turn. And just thinking about how the hell am I going to make a pizza, right?
Yeah.
And then going, oh, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
And or how am I going to make a guillotine, and then figuring it out, and then you guys guessed it, or Natalie making a very obvious sidewalk.
The guillotine might have been the best clue,
And then
out of all of them.
us not knowing what a sidewalk was called. Like that was
walking
fun, right?
path, and I'm
It's a
like,
walking path. It's a trail. It's a trail, obviously. So Natalie did just fine. So
You make me sound like I get pissed off at every
gets so
single
mad.
thing.
This might be therapy time, Natalie.
We'll be right back.
I'm not a mad person.
Yeah. So I think the evolution of me not going, how the hell am I going to turn these goofy ass shapes into what's on the card? I liked that. It wasn't so obvious right away, and it wasn't the hardest thing I've ever done.
Agreed.
And I thought it was a great balance of a challenge and, oh, I got it. Like I figured it out. I thought that was very cool.
Very cool.
There are some points that I'm going to agree with, but I don't want to take all the points. So who else wants to go?
I want to go.
Go for it.
We go clockwise. That's what we do.
Stop it.
All right. So the first thing I thought of when this game, when Jeff was explaining the rules, it reminded me of a game that we've played before this that came out a few years ago that we liked and played called Pantone.
Pantone, yeah.
And with that game, it was very similar to this, where you have words that you're trying to build a picture of with, in Pantone's case, with these Pantone color swatches. Mm-hmm. And this game, Cloud Control, is that what it's called?
Cloud Control.
What I liked better, I liked Cloud Control better than Pantone. Pantone was really awesome for its simplicity. Like the box was just that red color swatch, and then it had these color
great
swatches
idea.
in there. Very cool.
Yeah.
And it was even fun. I remember specifically one game we played with Andrew and Cheyenne at work, where Cheyenne was just like, she was incredible with her clues, and it made it more fun seeing somebody like when we watched Jeff do the guillotine clue.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, oh man, how cool is that something like that can happen. So this game, what's different about this game that I liked better, in Pantone, you're using the color swatches to build the card. That's all you're doing. You're just like making a picture with the colors, and then hopefully you've done a good enough job that people can see. This game is different because in this game you can use the cards to animate the pictures that you're making, and that little twist makes all the difference for me in terms of creativity and replayability. For instance, if you have guillotine, how the hell can you make someone know out of just like a rectangle, a triangle piece, a little sickle-shaped piece, and a circle? How are you going to do? It's going to be so hard to do. But the way Jeff did it was he had these cards. He kind of like held them upright, and then he took the sickle piece, one at the top, and then just slid it down to the bottom. And that...
You guys got like a medium.
Yeah, it was like, oh, it's a guillotine.
Cool.
It's a guillotine. And that was so creative on Jeff's part. And it like was exciting that, wow, that kind of stuff
made
can
these
happen.
like random weird shapes
They're
come
stupid.
to life.
It was
and,
like,
yeah.
you would never have thought that was anything else when he did that. It was like, that's a guillotine, clearly. And that was what, okay, so my favorite thing in the world in games is being clever. So my favorite thing in the world. And in a game like
Clover.
Codenames, so Clover, you get those opportunities to be Clover. And with a clue like guillotine, or we all had something
Natalie's
that did
boot
that.
was funny.
Yeah, Natalie had
you were like
right,
walking the boot,
right? And I had this cheating
welcome
one.
mat.
Yeah, the welcome mat. Oh,
Yeah, you had your clouds walking on the welcome mat, right?
yeah, right. So, but they all worked, and we all got them. And all of the ones that were the most sticky outy in my memory, the ones that stuck out the most were the ones that were manipulated in some way, where it wasn't just, here's the picture, I made this picture, what is it? Right? Mm-hmm. But then, on top of that, there's this lightning round where you all make the same picture, and then you get to go through and explain what your picture is. And I found that just as fun, because that one we were not. Maybe you can in some instances, but we didn't animate those ones. We just made a picture, and they were all very similar. But it was really funny to be like, okay, mine. Jeff's like, oh, yours looks like you're having a guy having sex with a cat, and it's like, oh no, he's really just giving a shot to this cat, and the cat's dead, and it's got X's in the eyes. Yeah, or a stethoscope rather. Yeah, he's got a stethoscope, and he's checking to see if the cat's dead. Natalie's like, mine's a guy looking at a cat. You know?
Mine was giving a shot to it.
Yours was the shot. Yeah, and it was just really fun to go through. And again, I don't want to say it's not a game because it's a game. There's points. There's point tokens. However, it's one of those games where it's almost more fun to not care about the points and just play it.
Yeah.
I don't like doing is it a game or is it an activity? I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't. That's
if you have fun,
that distinction doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Yeah.
It's got points. There's a winner. There's a loser. But even if you don't use the points, it's still just fun to play. Because you are playing it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's really fun. It's a fun thing to play. I enjoyed it more than I expected to, and I certainly liked it better than a game like Pantone, which was also good. But I think those are similar enough to compare.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun too. You know, like you said, there's like other games that we've played that are similar to this, just kind of like the flip and right we just talked about. But the difference for me, and this is just my opinion, this kind of stuff, I can play a million different kinds of these and always think they're fun.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously this one is a little bit different. It's not like super mega lucky box or whatever.
Oh, shit.
Where it's like there's nothing different. So there's definitely like something different about this. But this kind of stuff is just inherently fun. And, you know, like I said about Soul Clover, like I never get sick of this kind of stuff, you know, like putting things together, trying to guess things, doing something that's clever. So yeah, while it's like this light little game and it's quick and it's simple, we laughed a lot when we played it. And,
yeah,
it was fun.
So that makes it worth it. I'm not just sitting there crossing off some numbers.
Damn.
Jeez. She is going after the throat of this game.
This game dead.
But yeah, I mean, the same thing as you guys, though. I really enjoyed it, and I think anybody who picked this game up would enjoy it too.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a main event at all.
No.
Yeah.
You know, this is not even something I don't think you're gonna like pick to play all the time. Mm-hmm. But this is that game that is going to fill like hey, you know, we haven't played in a while is Cloud Control.
Right.
Remember Cloud Control? Let's bust that out real quick.
Or like a Nerd Fest, like, oh, they're finishing up their game.
Yeah, let's play some Cloud Control
10
real
minutes
quick.
to spare. You want to play that? Okay,
and I think
that sounds fun.
that's what's good about this game is it doesn't try to be that. It's just like it's got a little niche that it's going to fill, and there's totally room for games like that.
Yeah, there's two games. There's two games like that I feel like I'm gonna bring to game night to again fill that spot, and it's this one now, Cloud Control, and that game Starlink. Because I think Starlink allows for a different kind of creativity that I really enjoy.
Totally.
But if I like this better than Pantone. I like the moving. The rules kind of talk about it being well, clouds move, so you can move the clouds, right? So that's like the theme of it. I'm like, that's perfect. So yeah, it's a winner, I think.
That's the best part about the game. The best part, if it didn't have that animation, I would not care.
I didn't think it did, and then when I read the rules, I was like, okay, this might make it better. This might, and then it did.
That's everything for me. If it didn't have that, I would probably do it anyway, and it would feel like, you know, it'd be like, you're cheating. The fact that it has that makes it go from a game I don't think I'd care about to a game that I do care about.
Yeah,
you know,
agreed.
Sweet. All right, so next up is a game that I'm very excited to talk about. This game was atop the BGG hotness for about a week, which caught my attention. It's a little called game. It's a little card game called. It's a little called game, Card Renegade. Regicide. This game appeared on the Shut Up and Sit Down video, our 5 favorite new card games of 2021, which made Regicide ascend the BGG hotness. And
now let me ask a question: why, whenever we talk about games, it doesn't seem to fly up on the BGG hotness?
What the hell? Shut up and sit down.
So you're saying that Shut Up and Sit Down have more listeners than we do and more of an audience?
I cannot believe that.
In what world, sir?
Way.
In what world?
They're like some of the funniest human beings.
They're amazing.
Those guys.
And I totally lied about one guy being in a movie. I swear to God, I thought one guy was in a movie.
Twins, right?
Totally lied. That's not true at all.
YouTube only.
No, they have a podcast.
And I think
too.
Kim was so nice. I think Kim messaged on the Discord and was like, "I tried to look," or maybe it wasn't Kim. I tried to look. I'm like, You can just tell me I'm fucking wrong. Like, just be like, no, you're really wrong.
I would believe
they're
it.
hilarious.
He's that kind of guy who's like, he's made to be in front of the camera. So we talk about this sometimes where it's like, you can tell when someone who's creating content should be and should not be.
They're like an entertainer.
Yeah.
type.
Quinn's especially, all the guys who are on Shut Up and Sit Down, but Quinn's
great.
especially is like a very charismatic, entertaining fella. Who you just kind of you look at him and he kind of captivates you. He's hilarious. He's real. You believe what he said. Whatever. Well, that's
Probably
a different
why Jeff
topic.
thought he was an actor.
That's it. That's what I'm
probably
saying.
exactly what
that's
happened.
my point. Is because he basically acts in all of their YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you believe him. He's just really fun. Anyway, so yeah, they talked about Regicide on their top 5 new card games of 2021, and that made me check it out. This game is out of stock at the moment, and I don't think it's going to come back in stock until like the end of the year, which is a huge bummer. But fear not, because this cooperative card game was designed using a standard deck of cards. Yes, if you have a standard deck of cards with the Jokers, you can be playing this game straight away. And that is so fucking cool. A game I'm super excited about using a standard deck of cards, that doesn't happen. How it works is you're working together with up to 3 other teammates to defeat 12 powerful enemies. The 4 kings, the 4 jacks, the 4 queens, right? Basically, you'll shuffle up all the kings, place them face down in a pile. Then shuffle up all the queens, place them face down on top of the kings. Then shuffle all the jacks and place them atop the queens. Flip up the top jack, shuffle the rest of the cards and deal them out depending on the number of players, and away you go. Your goal is to defeat all of the cards. The jacks have 20 health, deal 10 damage back to you. The queens have 30 health, deal 15 damage, and the kings have 40 health and deal 20 back to you. On your turn, you simply play a card on the table in front of you. The number on the card is the attack value. So let's say I play an 8 of spades to the table. I am basically saying that I am going to deal 8 damage to the jack, which remember has 20 health. After I play the card, the suit of the card that I played activates, because each suit has a different power. Hearts takes discarded cards and puts them back in the draw deck. Diamonds draws cards from the draw deck to replenish your hand. Spades reduces the damage dealt by the current enemy when they attack you. And clubs doubles the attack value of the card you just played onto the enemy. So let's just say I played that 8 of spades to the table. The power of the spade would activate, reducing the damage coming back to me that turn. So I deal 8 damage to the jack, which now has 12 left. He only now deals 2 back to me because 8, he does 10 attack and 8 reduces the damage. The spades reduces the damage by 8. To take damage, you have to discard cards from your hand equal to or greater than the damage dealt. If you ever cannot fully defend the damage coming at you, that's how you lose. Everyone loses the game. It's over right then. So that's my turn, and it would go to the next clockwise player to now play a card, activate the suit power, deal damage, and then get damage. There's a bit more to it, and how you can play other cards to help you, but in a nutshell, that's the game. So things I liked. There is a lot to like personally about this game. I am very impressed that a really cool, fresh, clever game was designed with just a simple deck of regular playing cards. The rules are so simple that you can teach someone in minutes how to play. And really all that's tricky to remember is how much health the face cards have and what the damages that they deal to you and what the suit powers are. But once you play it just a couple times, you memorize that, and it's nothing. There's also a free app you can download that quickly tells you all of that and helps keep track of damage and everything. We didn't play with that today when I was, but there's an app. Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a very simple game. The game is extremely difficult. We've played a few times, and the furthest we've gotten is in the middle of the kings. Right, once you get through all the kings, you win. So we've gotten close, but we still haven't won. We still have not won yet. There's a lot of luck involved, obviously, but there's also a lot of strategic things you can do to set yourself up for success. It really feels tense and fun, and you just kind of want to keep playing one more time to get a little bit further if you can. I have no clue how in the hell we're going to win, because it just seems like almost impossible, but it's a game that you want to try. Jeff and I talk about this all the time. You do not want to play a cooperative game that you win even like winning 50% of the time can be a little bit like, maybe that's too easy.
Right.
Maybe I'm not going to play that. You also don't want a cooperative game to pound you into the ground and make you feel like you literally have no shot. Like if we only got through like 1 or 2 jacks, that would be like, okay, this is too hard.
It almost happened.
Yeah. It can happen because of randomness, but it doesn't usually happen, right? And so if that always happened, and you had to get the very best luck possible to get a little further, that would be a bummer. That could be a bummer. But again, I cannot wait to try to win this game. Things I did not like. The luck is probably the most obvious thing here. If you get a crappy hand of cards, you can just be completely screwed, which does happen. But man, the game is fast enough to re-rack it and then try it one more time. I think that's probably my biggest complaint is the luck and the randomness, because you got to get a little bit lucky.
Yeah.
At times. Overall, though, I'm very excited about this game. I look forward to winning finally, because I think once we finally win, it's going to be like this momentous occasion.
Yeah.
Because we've played a bunch and lost every time.
which will be cool.
And it would be like, oh, yes. Because I feel like if and when we win, it's not going to be like, oh, well, that was easy. I think it's going to be like, oh my God, we did it.
Yeah.
We drew that
Everything
card.
worked out perfectly.
It worked out. Yeah. I also love that it's a card game that I can teach to anyone. Like when I was taught euchre, when we were like taught euchre, right, as kids. Euchre is a regional game around here. It's like, think of spades. If you know spades, it's sort of similar to that. But euchre is a trick-taking game, and everybody like in the area knows how to play it. But there's no rules.
Right, you don't have a player
somebody
aid,
just
you don't
taught
have
you
a
the game,
instruction book,
and you just learned it. This is a game that's like that. It's a regular deck of playing cards that could be a game that's like passed down, that just becomes a family card. Everybody has those like family card games they play. This could be that, because it uses a standard deck of cards and you don't need anything special.
Yeah.
The only thing you need is the rules. Once somebody learns how to play it, you don't need anything else. There's a little player aid I printed off the BGG file section, which helps for now. But after a while, I don't think we're going to need that. It's like so simple. You just learn by playing. So I loved it. I cannot wait to play it again. I want to play it until we win. What did you guys think?
I also loved it.
Clockwise.
That's a really big statement that you said, Ryan.
Whoops.
Ryan just spilled on his Mad Board Gamer shirt.
He went to take a drink. And
What do you really think about
I
me?
think he was like 5 inches from his mouth, and he just poured it on his shirt.
It's waterfall, baby. Just-
All right, continue.
Where was I? No, I loved this game.
You said it was a bold statement
that's right.
I made.
It was a bold statement. The fact that you compare it to something like euchre and that you could just like teach to like anyone, all you need is some cards. Like that's a big plus for this game to become a game that's well known. You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, it kind of sucks that all you need is cards and they won't make money on it, but like,
not a bad point.
but
Buy the game.
Yeah.
But at least I mean, even if it got just if all you cared about was recognition or
Yeah.
people to enjoy it, that's true what you said, and that's kind of huge to me. Like euchre is like a game that like everybody know. I mean,
As a budding designer myself, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm nothing, right? But as a budding designer, it is way more cool. That's not the word. It's more. It would mean so much more to me that my game was out there for everyone and they were playing it, enjoying it, than
right.
making money
I don't think
on it.
anybody's
People don't
creating
get into,
games to like get rich.
Yeah, most people don't design games to make
It's more
to
because
get
they
rich.
enjoy it and they want to contribute to the hobby.
Right.
Anyways, so yes, I loved this game. I thought that it was the perfect challenge. Like you said, you can't. It's not easy to win. It's definitely not easy to win, and we haven't won yet. But that challenge, it gets me very excited. It gets me like pumped up to like, how do we make this work? And I got really into this game. We played it like 3 times, and like I get really into it. And like you said, unlike, I hate to keep bringing this up, but unlike Super Mega Lucky
Unlike
Game,
Super Stupid Box of Dumb.
where it's just kind of just like, okay, the whole time. This for me felt emotional, oh darn, we were so close. Like, oh, we're not
Yeah.
gonna win this. Like I got like into it and like emotional about it.
Yeah.
And to me that means that this was something that like really hit for me.
Yeah.
And I typically don't like, the randomness in games. We always count that as like a negative, but for some reason in this game that does not bother me. I don't know if it's just I don't really know why. I haven't really like dug into that yet, but it doesn't bother me. It reminds me of not the randomness, but just the game in general. It reminds me of the reason I like Codenamed Duet so much is where it's cooperative but it's like definitely a challenge. It's not an easy game to win, and so it just makes me want to play over and over and over again and
until
beat
we
the
finally
game.
do it.
And that's the same exact kind of feeling I have with this game. And you know how much we love Codenames Duet.
A lot. And how much you hate Super Dumb Box.
Super idiot.
Super mega
Box.
stupid box.
A spectacularally shitty game.
Sorry, Gamer. We still love you, and if you're listening,
I know.
we would love the sponsor.
It's just
Yeah.
me. It's not Ryan. Don't get mad at him.
You can get mad
Yeah.
at me, whatever.
Yeah.
Who
So
cares?
I really like this game a lot. I wish I could like figure out why the randomness doesn't bother me in it, but it just doesn't. I think it's just like you have to expect that that's going to happen. I mean, you're picking up random cards, and it just has to work out perfectly.
'Cause it's a card game.
and it doesn't bother me that it
You know
doesn't.
that's going to be there.
It's just a card game,
And it uses the standard deck of cards, so you're probably ingrained to think like all these other games you've played, that's just what you deal with.
right?
in
Yeah,
those
I guess
kinds of
even like
games.
euchre, you know, like I might just
Yep,
draw
I got
a
nothing
shitty
but
hand
nines and
and I
tens.
can't do anything good or whatever. Yeah, that's
And it's
a good
also
point.
the next time you pick up a card, it might be the best. The next time you pick up a
Exactly.
card, it could be
Like, oh,
worse.
if we can
Right.
just survive this
You know?
turn,
Right.
yes, now I got this
And
this
it also,
diamond
like,
that refills
when
our hand
when
up.
you lose too, it's almost, it feels better that we like didn't necessarily like do something wrong. It's more just like oh, I have to,
Yeah, just unluckily
I'm gonna
I-
get attacked for 15 and my entire hand adds up to 7. Like there's
Like,
nothing I can
damn,
do.
yeah, that
Darn.
blows.
All right, let's try again though. You know, like maybe because I know for a fact next time that exact situation is not going to happen. Maybe it'll be a different situation and we'll get farther. Or
Well, we had this really cool moment in the game too, where we thought we were, and I can let Jeff talk about this a little more, but we thought we were dead, and it was like fuck, and then there was this rule that we hadn't played with before because we hadn't played a 3-player game,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh wait, but this rule applies to this card. Now, and then we made it almost to the end,
Yeah.
and that was the catalyst. So Jeff, what did you think?
I liked it. Let me expand. So I agree with everything you guys said. Like the randomness doesn't bother me. I like that you can just play it with a deck of cards. I think the next deck of cards that I get will just be dedicated to this game, right? I will
Yeah, this deck of cards is only
maybe
used
put
for
it
that.
in. You know, I liked that gigantic box of card games that Ryan has. Maybe I take a deck of cards and just slot it in there, and that becomes
That's the Regicide.
For the-
that's the
yeah.
Regicide game. And with co-op games, there's a moment that I like that. There's two moments that I really enjoy in co-op games. One is we're almost dead and then we didn't die.
Yeah.
Where, yes, I was very close to dying, but yes, we played the Joker and I was allowed to kind of skip my turn.
Right.
And then there's another moment that happened when Ryan took his turn and Natalie took his turn after that, because I was essentially dead. If the turn got back
Yeah.
to me,
we lose.
we
Yeah.
lose. So there's a moment in co-op games that I kind of like to call like the I got you moment. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
You know, where we had that a couple times where, you know, Ryan was like, oh no, I need to discard 2 cards or 3 cards. And then it was kind of like, I got you. Like
Yeah.
Natalie and I got cards that can
Yeah.
help
Yeah,
you
so by the time
right.
we get back
come
to
back
you,
to
you're
it.
gonna be okay again.
Yeah.
And I like
Yeah.
that. I like that instead of just knowing the impending doom and then
Right.
having to
Right.
like take
Play it out.
turns for no reason,
Yeah.
right? And this game had a lot of that, and it had a lot of opportunities to get your partners like back to where they need to be to
Yeah.
like be successful. And then I also thought that my decisions in my hand weren't as obvious as I thought at the beginning.
Sure.
Where I had different choices of what power do I want to combine with what, and what power can I use, and you know the card flip of like, oh shit, now I can't use this power, so what do I do? That helped versus when I'm playing a game like Euchre. I've played Euchre so many times that I know what I should be playing at every point in time
Yep.
when I
Right.
play Euchre.
No matter
or when
what,
I
no
play
matter
other
what
card
hand
games.
you have.
And maybe
Very
you
good
get to a point in this game like that, but probably not.
Yeah, because it's going to be different with the way that stuff. Yeah, I agree with you.
No,
Yeah.
that's a super good point.
Super
Yes.
good. Super
About-
mega good
Super mega
good point.
About the,
That's a spectacularly
the challenge
good
of how to play the cards in your hand. I mean, that's just another thing that makes it so cool. I know that the actual game isn't like actual playing cards, but the fact
It
that we're
is, pretty
playing
much.
it really
Yeah.
just with different like artwork and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like on the rules
Yeah.
here, you can see right there. That's what the game looks
Yeah.
like. So it
But,
even
like,
has those.
the
So it's like
fact
a
that
3 of
you're, like-
spades with an archer
right?
on it.
Like the fact that you're giving like the typical like the
hunk.
Typical hunk.
playing cards, symbols, powers, and then the fact that you're like you have this hand and you're like have to figure out how to play these cards because like Jeff said, it's not obvious. So like, you know, you just kind of got to like do what you have to do in the moment, but also like not totally screw your hand over if possible, or maybe you have to. It's just like there's so many things like going through your head with just like these 6 playing cards, which is like crazy to me. That somebody came up with a game like this, and
Agreed.
yeah, the fact that like maybe like you played this card for this power, but then you have to throw away some other cards to block damage, and you're like, I don't want to throw these away because they could be so good, but I have no other choice, and it's just like
That's a great point, because that happened to me a lot in almost every play where I'm like, shit, I got to absorb 6 damage, and I don't have a card that's just value 6, so I'm gonna have to get rid of like a 6 and a 4, and then it's like, oh, this 6 is a diamond that could draw us cards, but I have if I don't do that, then I'm getting rid of a 9 or a 10, which I don't want to do that because then I got to use.
But then you got to think like you're gonna be going through this deck over and over, so like you're gonna get some good stuff back. You know, you got to just do what you got to do, and it
gave a lot of cool moments. I really enjoyed it. I think if you have a deck of cards, go to the BGG file section and print off the rules here. And I will even say, you know, when this comes out and it's more readily available, it's going to be cheap enough that I might pick up a copy to support these guys.
You should support somebody who thought of a game.
But
like this.
if you're looking to play something like this, I think it's worth go dig out a deck of cards. A normal deck of cards that has jokers. Go to the BGG file section, print off the rules, print off the little player aid, and start playing this, because it is really good. It's really good. So that is Regicide. If you are ever looking to support us, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers, which will get you access to behind-the-scenes content, exclusive content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to, and the opportunity to help out and support a podcast which you sometimes listen to. We have amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for your support. Guys, if you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that Jim Gamer sex doll Jeff's had his eye on, please head on over to patreon.com/the Gamecasters.
It sounds so
To
sexy.
help out. Doesn't it?
It comes with a voice box.
A Jim Gamer. Yeah. Right. Oh, right there.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
that
yes.
hurts.
Please.
Faster.
It's wonderful.
Right. I'd like to now talk to you all a moment about the Gateway Board Gaming Network, which you can find at www.thegatewaynetwork.com and the Gateway Network on Instagram. The sole purpose of the network is to help new or up-and-coming content creators grow by shouting each other out. If you go to the Gateway Network website, you will find other amazing content creators who are trying to grow as well. They're all amazing people who produce fantastic content. It's very exciting, due in also a large part to our merch store. Yes, we have merchandise, which you can find at thegatewaynetwork.com/store. There you can find so many amazing items from a large portion of our members. We have a brand new logo that we just created that is up there and ready for you to go
it looks great.
buy. And
I'm
yes,
biased.
we love it.
I'm biased, but
I'm
it looks
biased too,
awesome.
but I think it looks fantastic. So today, I'd like to specifically highlight a podcast that was born out of the Gateway Network. Yes, the Gateway is a proud father of the Better Board Games podcast, hosted by McKay, the board game critic, and Evan of Being Friends, who are 2 members of the Gateway Network. This podcast is full of regular discussions that make you a better gamer and a better human being. They discuss everything from honesty, fairness, and mechanics balancing to inclusion and how to prioritize your board game selection on your limited budget. They've got 8 episodes now, which should be enough to whet your appetite for more. And while you're waiting for the 9th episode, why not go check out the Board Game Critic and Being Friends, which you can find on thegatewaynetwork.com. So whatever kind of content you're looking for, the Gateway will have it. If you're a newer board game content creator and you're looking for a way to grow your content, please consider heading over to thegatewaynetwork.com to learn more. The Gamecasters Twitch account has relaunched, and we're live every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday night, streaming board game and video game content and having a blast talking to all of you. If you just simply can't get enough Gamecasters in your day, please consider heading on over to twitch.tv/Gamecasters and give us a follow and a sub. I have the best time streaming for everyone, and it's just a super fun place to unwind after a long day and watch someone who is trash at games play games. Come hang out and engage with me in a way you never thought you had to before, but I'm sorry you do. Twitch.tv/Gamecasters. But possibly the best way to interact with all of us, though, is via our Discord server. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, you can check out our link tree in our bio to get access to our Discord server. It's a great way to engage with all 3 of us on a daily basis, as well as meet a bunch of like-minded, awesome people. So check out our Discord server. We're in there all the time. Natalie, Jeff, and I are constantly talking with everybody. It's a pretty lively place. You know, it's very active.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's just a great time to meet and hang out with other gamers, right? So, we're doing things a little different this episode.
Oh.
Typically,
Sorry.
Well, typically we do an Instagram inbox right now, or we go to the Board Game Beatdown or Natalie's Nook. We are hybriding Natalie's Nook into the top 5 this episode, so we're going to leapfrog over the game of the episode to get to those. So we're going to start with the game of the episode, and it is everyone's favorite time of the show where we get to watch Natalie ramp up into a as we play the game I prepare when I have no time to prepare, which is what I call this game. So we're going to put 3 minutes on the clock, and Jeff is going to try and get Natalie to guess all the games on this list in 3 minutes. We've never done it. This is Regicide, where one day we'll get there.
Yeah.
We've gotten close before.
Another one. Is it another one? Another essential. Another essential.
Can you see this, Jeff?
I can see that. Yes.
I cannot.
If we
move
get it
anymore.
all, are
I
we
can't move
gonna
anymore.
retire it?
Wow.
Wow. Are we going to get rid of this dumb game?
Yeah,
what is this game called? Super Mega Stupid List of
dumbass
Games?
game.
Oh, good. We're
I
playing
like this
Super
game.
Mega Lucky List game.
Okay, so
I'm not trying to be
Jeff's
negative.
game store is going to tank and go under.
No.
Super Mega Lucky Box fucking sucks, and let's get rid of this stupid ass game. We already got rid of Board
I
Gamer
like this
bullshit.
game.
Board Gamer bullshit
You
gone.
misunderstand
Anything with
me.
riddles gone.
You
Anything with this one gone.
I like this game. I was just trying to be like,
Okay.
Let's
it's gonna
retire
take
it.
so long that we have to retire.
No, this is the best game ever for when
Yeah.
I don't have a
Like,
ton of
this will
time to
never be
prepare.
retired.
Yeah, and it's
Never.
fun. Are we ready? What's going to happen is Jeff is
boy.
going to try to get Natalie to guess 30 games in 3 minutes time. He can say whatever the fuck he wants outside of the name of the game itself.
Name of the game.
And we're going to try to get, I think the most we've gotten like 27 or
Yeah,
something.
we've gotten
We've
that.
gotten
Another
really
one.
close.
Yeah.
Another essential. All right. Are we ready for this? I'm going to start the timer. On your marks. Get set. Go.
It's a very interactive game about like a haunted house, sort of.
Mansions of Madness.
Mansion of Madness. This is Ryan's favorite Uwe game.
Caverna.
Okay. This is your time of the month.
Blood Rage.
Okay, cooperative trick taking with space. There's a spaceman on the cover.
The Crew.
Okay, this is about time travel. This is a time travel game where you have these cool
Time
like
Chase? No.
I'm gonna pass. This is
Okay.
has beautiful dice in it.
Sagrada.
Another one of Ryan's favorite games with aliens.
Cosmic Encounter.
Yes. This is the game that we quoted as it's magic, and it has all these little fluffy balls, and you would
Oh,
take
the
them and
fuzzies.
then.
Correct.
This is the pirate game that we played in my basement on the
Forgotten
big TV.
Waters.
Correct.
This is the dice rolling game about going to Lost.
Lords of Vegas.
Correct.
This is the game you just played over there about at Ben and M's with the
Skull King.
shape.
Oh, Soul Clover.
Yeah.
Correct.
This is the game we literally just played with a deck of cards.
Regicide.
This is the game you just said a second ago that Ryan gets
Skull
anxious
King.
about.
Correct.
This is the game you played at Ben and M's and did not like so much.
Dice Throne.
Correct.
Ryan's favorite game of all time.
Star Wars Destiny.
The first game you said, but say it another time. About the haunted house game.
Mansions of Madness.
Okay. This is my favorite Feld game with a rondel.
Trajan.
This is another Feld game with there's like a map and there's a cube
Amerigo.
tower.
Correct.
Okay. This is a game that it's shaped like a sign that you have to
Nice.
pause at.
Can't stop.
Nice.
Yep.
Correct.
This is Ryan's intro game with tiles, and you're making castles and fields and farms and paths and
intro
roads,
game?
and it's like created the meeple. Okay, this is your favorite game where we say the same word at the same time.
Medium.
Correct.
Okay, this is the one where you're changing the cards and you're playing these trick-taking games. You love it. You like have these things, you slide them into the things. You love it.
Oh, Custom Heroes.
Correct.
Your favorite version of this very popular game, it's a 2-player version of...
Codenames Duet.
Correct.
Yep. This is your favorite Feld game.
Castles of Burgundy.
This is one of the games.
Teotihuacan. Correct.
This is the game that I love that you played about 2 rounds of and you were like, nah, I don't really want to play it. And I played it like a couple times and really love it.
Destiny.
Correct.
This is one of your favorite games of all time where we talked about it last episode. It's got a bunch of tiles and you're moving around the tiles to do different things. You thought coffee was involved or cocoa beans or something.
Istanbul.
Correct.
This is the Indiana Jones game.
Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Correct.
This is a bag builder. You're reaching in the bags.
Leon.
Correct.
And then the first game you said, but say it one more time. The
Mansions
Haunted
of
House.
Madness?
Correct. You got 2 more. You got 30 seconds.
Which one's that?
Go all the way up to the top.
Okay,
this one.
this is a time travel game. There's these little like cool like kind of plastic bots you like put your people in and move, and you can go back and like borrow resources. It's a Mind Clash
Circadian?
game.
Nope.
No.
15 seconds.
Oh,
the other one?
is it
The other one is
Cloud
here.
Snow?
Oh, okay. This other one. It's a name of a city. It's Ryan's like intro game. He had the big box version of it. There's I don't know how best to explain that.
So close. Anachrony and Carcassonne. Oh man! I thought you had it for sure.
I know.
I thought you had it for sure. You
that
were
Anachrony
fucking
I
killing
knew.
it.
I just couldn't think of which game. Like I only played that once, so
So
I'm like,
close.
there's
I
all
know.
these games
And I haven't played
that I
it.
forgot about. Yeah.
Damn, you were so close.
28.
Damn.
This is a new
28.
record, though.
That's your new
That's
record.
close.
Yes, the new record. Oh,
I thought we were on a roll.
Good job. We
you
were.
You had
we were
it.
rolling.
For some reason, you stopped at I don't know why you couldn't get
I
Carcassonne.
don't know either.
It just happens. You just
Yeah.
your brain
Right,
doesn't
just
think
didn't
that
go
way.
You're
there.
trying to think about a million games all at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you were like, boom, boom, boom,
know.
boom. It was funny when Jeff was like, because I wrote Manchester Madness again, Manchester
That
Madness
was
again.
confusing me. I'm like, there's no way that's on here.
But it didn't confuse you.
I couldn't say the word again.
You
Yeah.
got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, every time he's like, you say this one again, I'm like, what? Mansion of Madness?
Yeah, but you said it immediately. You did. There was no. You were like Manchester Madness, and then he was like, "Yeah," and he's going to the next clue. And as he's going to the next clue, she's looking at me like, "What the fuck is this?"
Kind of stupid. Why did you
I
write
did
this?
not.
Why did
I
you write
didn't
it
even
again
look
too?
at you. I
Why
didn't
did
look
you
at
so looked at me? Why did you write this game?
We did
twice,
do good.
you
That was
piece of
good.
shit. That was
That was
amazing.
really good.
Fantastic. We don't have to retire it, Jeff.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, if we would have got
Let's
to
make
29 with
one
like a minute
jump
left, I would have
yeah.
been like,
Sorry.
no clues.
I don't know.
Good luck. It's a game. It's in a box.
Figure it out, yeah.
You know, there's directions.
Got rules.
It's got rules in it.
Components. It's once again time for the old Nook to creak its way open and spew forth its knowledge liquid.
Knowledge liquid.
Ew.
Yuck.
What do you have for us in today's Natalie's Nook? Why don't you step inside? Come on, it's warm in there. You think you found some grass, but nope, it's pubic hair. You wonder why there's so much underwear. You stepped inside of Natalie's Nook.
Today on Natalie's Nook, I wanted to talk about, kind of do like a Gen Con preview / what we're looking forward to before we go to Gen.
Oh, that was like hype.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
I thought you were like, stop.
Hey,
No.
knock it off.
I wouldn't
Hey, no.
I wouldn't have said
Hey. Cut that shit out.
Well, like, it didn't sound hype, and you're just like, hey.
I wouldn't have said it like that. I'd be like, hey guys, can we stop for a second?
Hey, you, knock it off.
That's like what my dad used to do if I was like getting mouthy.
yeah.
Hey.
You're like, oh, sorry. Oh, man.
All right, continue. Gen Con preview.
Yeah, Gen Con preview. We're leaving for Gen Con in like 3 days. We're very excited.
3 days. Is it 3 days?
Well,
Applause,
today's
applause.
Sunday, and we're leaving Thursday bright and early. So
How many nights?
Okay.
Brighton? We're leaving in
So I
Brighton?
guess like 4
I
days.
don't want to go to Brighton.
I know. Damn it. Can we just leave from here?
So yeah, I kind of wanted to just like have a little discussion. I know that Jeff had seen something.
He saw a scene.
Shut up. On Facebook where somebody was like, I want to hear about some Gen Con preview stuff, but I can't find anything. And I thought like, well, maybe we could provide that.
We're
content
creating
Let
for
me charge
you.
$6.
I know. There's no way that was
There's
that.
no way.
There's no way. That's funny, though.
Yeah,
This is
so
Mr. Pond.
So you better start listening. We
I
get
kind
paid
of thought like we
$6 for that.
could do like a just a little discussion for maybe anyone who doesn't really know a ton about Gen Con, like what it's all about, what we're looking forward to, how it's going to be different this year, how what we're looking forward to is different than any other year. And then the next podcast that we do will be after Gen Con, and then we could just share a ton of shit about what happened at Gen Con and our experience. So
God, hopefully there's a ton of shit to share.
God.
I'm sure there will be.
what if we don't have shit to
There's
share?
4 days
We'll make
of
it.
stuff. Like I'm sure the way that we all talk, we're going to be able to talk about it for hours. So anyways, one big thing that's very different than the other years. Well, there's 2 big things. One is it's always in the beginning of August, and it got moved this year to mid-September, which is kind of weird. It kind of sucks for all the teachers out there.
Yep.
And, you know, people who have kids going to school and blah, blah, blah. So that's a big difference. Not a huge deal, but that's something that's never happened before, at least since we've been going to Gen Con. And then the other thing is that I'm sure everybody knows this already, but we're going to have to wear masks the entire time, which is fine. At first they were saying,
It's a bummer.
yeah, it's a bummer,
I mean, it's a
but
bummer.
at first they were saying if you're vaccinated, you don't have to, but now they're saying everybody.
Story call.
I think I
it
would.
is the
I think
right
I probably
call.
would have done it either way.
So we're gonna be wearing masks, which
But it's
is
a bummer.
which is fine. Another thing I read that is they have like capped attendance. I'm not even sure if it sold out this year. You know, so I think in the prior years there was tons of people there.
Yeah, it was like 60,000 plus would go through.
Yeah,
the
and
turnstiles.
so we're really curious to see how much less people there might be compared to other years, because of, the mask requirement and the pandemic and all that stuff. There's a couple just in general, just to give you like a general idea of Gen Con, it is fucking enormous.
Wow.
Like
yeah.
when we go there, we do like 1% of what there is to do there. There's like all we ever do really is like go to the vendor hall, which is huge. And we literally spend all 4 days in the vendor hall, going to all the booths. It has different publishers. You can test games, you can buy games. There's art that you can buy. There's like costumes you can buy. There's dice. And there's anything you could possibly
you can
think
use.
of that relates
we
to
can.
games.
You won't.
Unless you're
You won't
in
use
there.
them. They're
Yeah.
nice in there if you ever
Are
want
they?
to go.
I've
Yeah,
never
just
seen
try
them.
it out.
Yeah, I should.
They are
Yeah.
they're pretty good. And then that's what we spend all our time doing. But there's a million other things that you can do. They have like costume contests. They have all these different rooms where people can go and play games. There was like one
Events.
room that had like a game full of like arcade, or a room full of arcade games that we've seen just passing by. I was just looking through like the events page.
Like auctions.
There's a million events. There's different things like people like have talks, and you can just sign up and go listen to them for free. And maybe it's publishers, maybe it's just experts on certain topics, and you could just go hear them talk about different stuff related to games. One of our friends, Lydia, All the World's a Stage, she's going to be talking at Gen Con about a couple different things, I think, which is super cool.
Very cool.
So just things like that. I mean, you will never, ever, ever run out of something to do there. I also just read that there is a block party. I think there's always a block party, but like they're making it bigger this year because I think they want to have like more stuff outside.
Yeah, I think to
because
encourage
of
some
the
outdoor
pandemic.
stuff. Yeah.
So they're making the block party like over a bigger street area than ever before. I just also looked at the list of food trucks. I was scrolling on and on and on and on. There
There's
was
only
like,
one I'm going
there had to
to.
be like 100 different food trucks.
Really?
I mean, I don't think they're all at the same time. Like some are like from like 5 to 10 at dinner time. Some are during like breakfast time. Some are whatever. Just one thing to note. I'm sure if you've heard us talk about Gen Con before, you've heard about this, but our favorite food truck, Island Noodles.
Island Noodles.
Island
We literally
Noodles.
eat that every day for lunch because it's the best
The Island
thing
Noodles,
ever. And
yep.
we only ever get it at Gen Con, so we got to take
If
advantage.
you're going to Gen Con, don't get Island Noodles so the line can be shorter for
the
Yeah,
us.
line
don't
is
go there.
it's by far the longest line there, but it's fast and it's
It's
worth
so
it.
If it was
good.
possible, I would go get. It is possible. Get
For
Island
lunch,
Noodles.
breakfast,
Take
dinner.
my Island Noodles to the back of the line of Island Noodles. Eat it. So
By
then
the
I
time
have a
you're
second
done,
Island
you get
Noodles
your
when
Why
I
is
go
so
back in.
freaking good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
There's
fucking
another
amazing.
thing that I just read too, that they're premiering an official beer of Gen Con.
They do this every year.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ryan can try a
Well,
sip
this
of
one's
it.
they do it
called
every
the
year.
Genevieve.
I will. I'm going to get fucked
But
up.
like,
Yeah.
doesn't that tell you how like big this thing is? Like, they're like creating a beer just for this like it's a year event.
Well, they do it because that's going to help the bars.
Yeah.
Because the bars will then serve this
Okay,
drink that
yeah.
everyone goes to. That's there specifically for Gen Con.
Yeah, so I mean, that is just like Gen Con in a tiny nutshell.
there's so much
this
more.
thing is huge. There's so much more
Yeah.
stuff that I didn't even say because I probably don't even know.
Well, there's also a lot of stuff that usually is there, like True Dungeon, which is like an escape room meets D&D, and they're not there.
yeah,
I think
they
this
do
year.
all these contests and stuff.
There's
random,
There's events that are going on
there's
all the
just
time.
so much stuff.
Big
going on.
auction that a lot of people go
Yep,
to.
auction
Yep.
stuff, math trades.
Right. So, another thing
Another
is, I feel like this year, and you guys can, add in whatever you think.
I'll add
But
it.
We'll,
for this
we're
year,
allowed
I
to
feel
talk
like
soon.
this is going to be different for us. Usually we go there and we're just like, games. But this is the first year, because last year it was canceled, that we feel like we are like, we've made a lot of friends on Instagram through the podcast. We've got, the podcast is right now, I mean, I wouldn't say we're like huge at all, but like we're the biggest that we've ever been. We have the most listeners that we've ever had. We have the most new Instagram friends. We have the Gateway Network where there's other content creators that we're getting to know really well. And so this is the first year where we're going to Gen Con, not just for games, but to finally meet some of these people that we've met online in person. And so like that's one thing I'm really excited about, to like actually like see these people we talk to all the time.
Right, make them feel awkward in person instead of just over.
So I think that's so cool. Like for just a few that I know off the top of my head, like Chris Charity Board Gamer is gonna be there, Being Friends Official, Fantasy and Some Flights, Main Street Meeple, who are people who we just kind of became friends with. We're gonna like meet up with them there. So like,
I'll be there. Joe,
you're going?
Dave.
Oh,
yeah, right. Donkey Kong.
The Gamecasters will be there in like we'll be like walking abreast with our Gamecasters swag.
So look
see
for
us.
us. We're gonna be wearing Gamecasters shirts, which may have the old logo or the new logo.
It'll be a mix.
But just look for Ryan's beard. You know what he looks like.
Look for Ryan's
Look for my beard.
You'll be wearing a mask.
If you find my beard, you can
be wearing a mask.
We'll be wearing masks. It'll be hard. So just look for our shirts. If you
He's got a mask with his beard on it. So before he goes, he's going to shave his beard and stick it on the mask.
If you see two guys and a girl all wearing Gamecasters shirts,
Oh,
then it's probably us. Come say hi. We like made some buttons.
If it's not us, I will be the happiest man
If
in
it's
the world.
not us,
There's
find
two
us and
guys and a
introduce
girl.
us to
There's
them.
2 guys and a girl walking around wearing Gamecasters gear, and it's not us. That's incredible.
That's pretty cool.
We were going to have a ton of buttons.
Yeah, we're gonna make some buttons.
Stickers.
We have some stickers, that we'll hand out. We just honestly want to like meet anybody that knows us.
Yeah,
we're
come
excited
introduce
to meet
yourselves.
people. Oh yeah, Bonzinator.
Yep,
I
Bonzinator
think
will
she's
be there.
gonna be there.
She
So
is.
we're gonna try to like meet up with her. And then what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and then another thing this year too.
Another thing.
And this is more like for Jeff to talk about, but I'll just like mention it real quick.
Okay, great.
Is like we've, he's kind of like made some things, some appointments to like meet with publishers because he's been reviewing a lot of games in the last couple of years, basically since we've gone to Gen Con. You probably didn't really do this before, and so now you have like
I didn't even have like an
reason
Instagram
to like
account.
meet publishers or know people from these places, and so there's like it's pretty cool how our I don't even know what to say.
Brand.
Boom.
How like our like
Brand.
That wasn't good. Brand wasn't good.
I don't know the
Be
word.
quiet.
It's cool that like
Just let us know when we're
we
allowed to
used
talk.
go there as just like, oh, we love games, and now it's kind of like it's different.
Games love us.
There's so much. No, there's just like more to it.
Come
now,
take pictures with us. We'll sign autographs.
Bow
down.
Yes, no, there's like an added like
Agree.
dimension that wasn't there before.
Another dimension.
and I'm excited to see how that goes. Anyway, you guys talk.
Yes. Okay.
Yay!
All right. Webster's Dictionary defines Gen Con.
Established in 1968 as Lake Geneva War Games Convention by Gary Gygax, who later co-created Dungeons and Dragons.
Gary
down.
Gergich.
Gen Con.
Yeah.
Jerry, Larry, Barry. Gen Con was first held in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, so that's how Geneva Convention, Gen Con, gets its name.
I wrote
The
all that
convention
down.
was moved. I'm sorry, you did? You had that all written
I
down?
did, but who cares?
You can read it. You can do it. Let's do it
guess I'm
together.
more prepared
The
than I
convention
thought.
was moved to various locations.
I don't have that one.
Word for word.
From 1972 to 1984, before becoming fixed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in 1985, where it remained until moving to Indianapolis, Indiana in 2003. Other Gen Con conventions have been held sporadically in various locations around the U.S. as well as internationally, which I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either. In 1976, Gen Con became the property of TSR Inc., which was the game company co-founded by Gary Gygax. I didn't realize he was this involved in the creation of it.
I knew it started more as like war gamey, like that kind of stuff through the 70s, but that's cool that he was the guy.
Yep. They were then acquired by Wizards of the Coast in 1997, which subsequently got acquired by Hasbro. So Hasbro then sold Gen Con back to the former CEO of Wizards of the Coast, Peter Adkinson, in 2002. And they also spent a short time under Chapter 11 bankruptcy due to a lawsuit brought against them by Lucasfilm. Star Wars
God
company.
damn it,
really?
George
In
Lucas.
2008. Weird,
George,
right?
Like George,
Against
what year
Gencon?
was that happen?
2008.
Like George fucking
Wow.
Lucas didn't have enough money
He
in
sued Gencon.
2008.
I wonder
He had to go
why.
This little board
sue
gaming community
a board
alone.
game
I
convention.
wonder why he did that too. But the organization then emerged from
Jerk, 'cause
bankruptcy
he's a jerk.
protection a year later while still holding its regularly scheduled events and is now larger than ever. This is all from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, is
So there's a
100%
couple
accurate.
things, just like as you scroll down Wikipedia, I looked at kind of some of the attendance thing. So in 1968, the first attendance, 12.
Wow.
12 people, which is kind of
12
cool. 12 people.
people?
Yeah.
So
I thought
again,
you
it's
meant
got to
like
start
12,000.
somewhere, right? We got to
Gotta start
start
somewhere.
somewhere. And as it like grew in Indianapolis, I went back about 10 years ago. You're getting somewhere between 30 and 40,000 people.
Yeah.
So the growth in 40 years is nothing compared to the growth in the last,
like,
how
yeah,
crazy it's
huge.
doubled in
That's how Board
a
Game
very
Geek is,
short
too.
period of
Yeah.
time. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
That's telling about the hobby.
Oh, another cool thing that we didn't talk about. So this happens every year. There's this thing. It's called Card Hall, I think they call it. It's where like these kids. I think it's these kids. There's a section in Gen Con, like in the lobby of the
Yeah, it's like right in the
of
front
the
doors
convention
almost.
center. These kids take these magic cards and they just create these like huge buildings and this like giant city. They called Card Hall, I think is what they call it. And then on Sunday morning,
Yeah, and you could like if you wanted to go in, like if Jeff Madigan wanted to go in there, I could just go
you
in
could just
there
go in there
and
and start building
stuff. And so people just donate a bunch of old Magic cards because
Right.
some of them are just garbage. And you just turn them in,
Yeah.
right?
and then on
It's great.
Sunday morning, I think it is.
I think so.
You can stop by, you take pennies, and then you just destroy it.
Yeah.
Everyone like stands there and
Throws it.
they launch pennies at this thing to knock all the cards down. And I'm making it sound like this. It is like awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, it's
huge
huge.
this gets. It's really cool to just stand there for a bit and just kind of watch it being assembled.
I believe I might be wrong, but all the money that is thrown at that is then donated to some local kids charity
That's
thing.
cool.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you're
I don't know if
right.
every
It's
year
donated
it's the
to
same
something,
one,
yeah.
but it's very cool. They
you
collect
throw
all
like
the money.
$100 bills at it.
I'm sure they get people that put money somewhere, but yeah,
Balls
just
at your
like
feet.
make a paper airplane
It
and
goes
try
behind you as you-
to fly it in there.
Back from whence you came.
Yeah, there's even like painting, like mini painting. I don't know
Yeah,
if
there's like
contests
I
with
was
that.
wondering if you guys
So
were
much
going to
stuff.
try to do that because I know there was one.
We're not
we
nearly
met
good
somebody a few years ago. You guys knew him, I think,
Yeah,
from
from
the
Guild of
local
Blades.
Oh, yeah, he
game
used to
store.
work at
And he won.
And he's like
Yeah.
there was like
That was
speed
so
painting,
cool.
right? Where you know
Yeah.
Natalie is much faster at
Yes.
painting, right? So she might
Yes.
be able to like do something like that. But these minis that people were creating in a short period, in 10 minutes,
Amazing.
were incredible. And
Incredible.
then like how cool is that? And that's something that I'm never going to go into that room. But so many people are, and that's something else you can do at Gen Con. You can go buy
Right,
used
there's
games
something
at that.
literally
There's
for everybody. Actually, there's like a million things for everybody. Like there's so
you can go play a massive Robo Rally.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I hope that's there again.
Yeah,
And, like,
or
we're
a
there
massive
for 4 whole days basically, and like you need to be there for like 2 weeks to like even
If you want to see it all.
make
Yeah.
a dent.
What we love about it the most is the vendor hall because we're
Yeah.
excited about the actual games
yeah.
part and
We
the
don't-
new games come out and that like excites us because we like cult the new stuff here. But if you want to like experience the entirety of the convention, there's way more to it than just the vendor
right.
hall.
And I mean, we don't even go there to play games. I mean, we'll play games
Yeah, at
in the
night.
vendor hall to like maybe test them out or like try something out, see if
Sure.
if we like it before we buy it, or just to like do a demo or whatever. But like other people just go there to like play games, meet new people, play games with their friends, like at
Suck
a
some
convention.
dick.
And we don't even do that. But that's like, I think that's a thing that a lot of people want to do.
Yeah,
You know, it's
agreed.
kind of like what we would do. That's what we would do at Grand Con because Grand
Yes,
Con's so
just a
small.
playing
So we would
convention.
just go there to play games all weekend. But at Gen Con, we only play games like at night.
In the Airbnb.
That's not just like demoing or like testing out a game or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just love like taking it in, like walking into the vendor hall for the first time. If you're planning on going to Gen Con for the first time, whether you do all this other amazing stuff, whether you do the painting or the auction or the true dungeon, if that's there, walking into the vendor hall for the first time, and again, this year being a little different because we're masked up, attendance is capped at a certain amount, but watching that wave of people
Yeah.
at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
going in.
At 10 a.m. when those doors open, or 9, whatever it was in the past, watching them just like wave in, or everybody like counting down. Like
Yep.
even the people like that work for the Indianapolis Convention Center that are standing by the doors to like, I'm doing air quotes, but check your ID when you come. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they can't
Yeah.
possibly
Your
check
badge.
the amount of people, the badge that
Right.
walks in, but just that they're counting down, and that everybody is also counting down, that everyone's there for the fun experience, that
Yeah.
experience. And then there are also just as many people up top videotaping all those people walking
Yep.
in.
We've been on both sides.
Both sides waiting to go, all right, this is the game that I want. And
Yep.
that the
I gotta
hunt,
get in there,
the hunt
yeah.
for that first game is fun.
Yeah, getting those quack spits was really cool.
Yeah, and then seeing everybody else doing the same thing. It's also an amazingly well ventilated place.
Yeah, you
that
would not
is-
believe.
You throw 70,000 people into, again, it's a massive, massive building and room, but you put that many people in a room, you think it might get hot, stinky, and it doesn't.
No.
Which is
It's very
amazing.
comfortable.
How it
It's
doesn't,
not
I don't know, but it's
stinky.
like, yeah, the air seems to move. It feels like it doesn't feel stale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have rarely run into someone or had conversations with people when I've been at Gen Con who are like curmudgeon. Right? Everyone's
Yeah,
happy to be
everybody
there.
seems-
And I think that even masked up this year and even with, some anxiety of COVID and all this kind of stuff, I think people are going to be happy to just be there.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to do that. I'm excited for meetups. I think that's going to be really fun
Yes.
to meet people that we've met on Instagram and also to talk to some publishers and talk to some people who work in the industry and just kind of like see what they do and see, how we can help as content
Yeah.
creators. And I'll let Ryan talk about something soon.
I can't wait.
The stickers and buttons I'm pumped for. So I bought hundreds of stickers for everyone.
Yes.
And at some
Man,
point,
they're so cool.
so I'm going to Ryan or Natalie on the Instagram account or on the Gamecasters account will probably go live at some time. I'll go live on my Mad Board Gamer
Yes.
account to just
Remind
see if
me to
people
do
are
that.
there.
I
like,
wanna do that.
And if it's me just sitting at a table and talking, I'm sure there's gonna be like one person watching, but like if you're there,
Yeah, come
seek
up and
us
say
out.
hi.
It would be
I don't
really
care,
fun.
Even if we just make a bunch of stories just to show people what's going on.
And there
what
are
we're
some like
doing.
we have buttons. I think that's attractive because some people go there to collect buttons.
that's
Yep.
me.
Some people spend
Yep.
hundreds of dollars on these cool buttons.
I don't
they used
spend
to,
any money on buttons, but I make it a goal. By the time I leave, my entire lanyard is full of buttons.
Yeah.
that I got.
So the first year I went with just Ryan. It was 5-6 years ago or something. I just went and I didn't really get any buttons.
Yeah.
I didn't really get any. And I don't
know
think
if
you
that
did
was
either.
even like. I don't know if that was popular then. It might have been like
it was.
later years.
Well, that year the first year we went, which I think was the year before you guys
Yeah.
went alone. I think I got a bunch of buttons.
Oh, did you?
I
So
kept
maybe
all
I'm
my
wrong. Maybe
lanyards.
But then the year after,
with all my buttons.
The year
saved.
after when it was the four of us with Dave and we went and you and Natalie and Dave were getting some of these buttons
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't need any buttons. And then like morning Friday, I was like, I want buttons.
I don't have any
I need to go
buttons.
back and
Where's
get
my
buttons.
buttons?
And now
Yeah.
that's what I want. So if you want a Gamecasters button, you might be one of few that have the game.
Yes.
So that's going to start out my lanyard, which is cool.
I made some Mad Board Gamer ones.
Ooh,
too.
so I have 2 buttons now
got
to
2.
start it out.
We got gateway ones.
The stickers
We got
are
3.
amazing. We're also doing an escape room on Saturday, which I think will be really fun. There are a dozen escape rooms within Indianapolis. If that's something that
Yes.
is interesting to you, I would personally recommend. Which I don't. Are we going to the Indianapolis
No.
or the Terry one?
No.
The escape room in
But I
Indianapolis.
think Gen Con bought all the slots for that weekend.
oh
So you have
right,
to
they
go
did
through
that a few
Gen
years
Con's
ago.
website to go to that particular escape room, which is a freaking
It's an amazing
We
one.
did
So
it
that's
once,
like one
and
of
it was
these
awesome.
these kind of like board game adjacent things that we like to do. Is do an escape room, and that's something that
Yeah.
I just think is so fun. I'm very pumped. I want to meet people. I want to get to meet Lydia for the first time because
Mm-hmm.
Lydia and I have had phone conversations and we used to use Skype and now Zoom took over everything.
Yeah.
But like our students know each other, and what's awesome is Lydia has moved into doing the board game club at the high school. So the students that we used to play games with at the middle school are still in the high school. So I get to see
that's
So it's like
cool.
the same
and then she's
sister.
presenting on like board games in the classroom and inclusion and how that helps like mental health of students and all that kind of stuff. And then also how we played board games all the way across the country together. And that's a whole nother thing. You can go to Gen Con and just go to events and just hear people talk about board games and board game adjacent stuff and watch these amazing things. It's just such a cool experience that
There's a wealth of stuff to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll never get everything in one
Never,
year.
ever.
You will never do it. And even this is my 5th time going or something, 4th or 5th time, and I feel like I've still only seen and experienced a fraction of it.
Right.
And that's why I think every year I get a little more excited.
Yeah.
Where now this year we get to add, we're doing content, so maybe we might see someone who might know us.
Somebody might
like how
recognize
cool
us.
Yeah,
Like,
possibly.
is that going to be?
I hate your show.
Yeah, you
Oh,
suck.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for
They
the
know
2
who we
stars.
are.
We read
That
it.
counts.
Yeah, right. They
Yeah.
know us. Wow. There's a Board Game Geek user, Zaphod, Zaphod. I don't know if he's done it recently, but he writes this Gencon Preview. It's called Gencon Beginner's Survival Guide.
Ooh, okay.
So if you type
I
in
like
this.
into Google Gencon Survival Guide, 2018 is the last one that I had saved in my toolbar, and I wanted to
Can we guess?
talk about it.
Can I guess what's that? Are you going to like go through
I was
what
just
he
going to kind of.
says?
It's really just
Okay.
basically
Yeah.
like
Let's hear it.
he's just basically saying things like, here's important links that you might need to know, like GenCon.com. Here's how to get into the housing. Here's the event list. Here's visitindie.com so you can find touristy stuff to do around
Yeah.
the city. Here's a geek list that shows all the games coming out. Like he lists
Cool,
Eric
that's
Martin's
nice.
thing. Then he goes down and he's like, okay, here's some general tips. Registration and badge pickup starts at this time, and then it goes here. Try not to register Thursday morning if you can avoid it because it gets so busy. Buy your badge online earlier. So this is all stuff that
What a
you'd
cool
have to know
post that he
before.
did. That's
Oh,
awesome.
it is so long. It talks about food and drink. Here's what you can get. Most of the Gen Con food trucks are located here on Georgia Street,
Yeah.
just outside the main entrance.
the
It tells
south
you like
entrance and blah, blah, blah. That's cool.
everything, like where to go. It keeps going. Tells you where. Here's places to get awesome food. Here's the best places to get really good beer. Here's some amazing options to go on a walk if you want to go walking. In between. He's like, okay, playing games at Gen Con is kind of difficult. You like the main place to play games is in this room that you have to pay for. But he lists in this post some like unofficial places where most people play games. You can go to this spot
That's cool.
if you want to play games and go here. Here's the event list, a Gen Con event list that tells you everything. And he gives like recommendations like don't schedule back-to-back events, especially if no one's there to, give yourself some time to travel. Recognize that sometimes games run long. Tournaments are especially notorious for running over, blah, blah, blah. Here's the open gaming stuff I'm talking about right now. A million different spots. Then he goes into the exhibit hall. Here's where that's all free. Here's like
That's
most
great.
companies run free. It's such a great resource.
Yeah.
If you're going to Gen Con and you've never been to Gen Con and you want to know what you're getting yourself into.
Because it can be super overwhelming.
Oh my gosh.
it-
So
yeah.
yeah. Google Gen Con Beginner's Survival Guide 2018. There might be a newer one. That's the last one that I saw. It even talks about parking and transportation. Where's the best spot to park?
I still need that list.
Auctioning.
Yeah, we always forget.
Well, I mean, we could even Uber at some point if we wanted to,
Yeah.
like Uber
Yeah,
to
and
the
we
place,
do-
Uber back.
Sure.
We do
If we don't want to
Airbnb.
pay
We've
for
done
parking.
Ryan and I, the first time I went, we stayed in a hotel, which was great, which
Yeah,
was fine. We
for
still
the two of
had
us,
we
it was
had
cool.
to drive in, but there was a lobby which was cool. And I know a lot of people will stay in the hotels, and then the lobbies are flooded with people playing
Yeah.
games, which is very cool. You're
Yeah.
playing games near people. That atmosphere is fun. We have Airbnb, which I've liked better than the hotel because
Way
it's
better.
a little more just like private. It's
Intimate,
ours.
yeah. Yeah.
We
Well,
have
there's like a table
There's
instead
a
of like
table
we're just
there, right?
unpacking our games on our bed.
Right.
Right.
So that it's such a great experience. I got shoes ready.
Yeah.
Because like you're walking for miles and miles and
lot.
miles.
Yeah, you're just walking a
pack
ton.
water, get ready for just a lot of.
Right. Have a backpack person. We take
Yeah.
a backpack with bottles of water and we just kind of like
just rotate the backpack.
Rotate who wears the backpack
Yeah.
for a while. We're going to do that kind of stuff. Also, something really awesome that I want to talk about that Jeff set up for me.
Yeah.
So, as you all may have known or may know, I have been for the last number of years designing a board game. And if you ever want to, you can play it with me on Tabletop Simulator. I'll take you through it and show it to you. And so Jeff, awesomely, was talking with somebody from Greater Than Games.
Yes. Yeah, Maggie from Greater Than Games.
Maggie
who
from
works
Greater
with
Than
other
Games.
publishers.
And
as well.
okay, apparently she works with a bunch of other publishers. He set up a meeting for me to basically pitch my game to her.
Yeah.
And how awesome. I am so excited for this. I have been trying to get this game into a situation where I feel like it's ready to present. And I do feel like it's ready to present. I don't have a great prototype. It's still just a very bare bones, minimalistic prototype, but it's ready. And this is kind of the nudge I need to get it started. And so I'm going to do that.
Saturday at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock, Jeff and I are going to go into this room with Maggie, and I'm going to give her a little rundown pitch of the game, and we'll see what she says. Maybe she'll say, we have too many like this. This is not something I want. Or maybe she'll say, this is interesting. I'd like to talk about it more. Or maybe she'll just say, thank you.
Yeah, it's Friday at 3 o'clock. My bad.
Friday at 3 o'clock. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I'm excited for you because even if nothing comes out of this, right? Worst case is you're just right back to where we were.
Yeah.
But you got the
I'm ready to go
practice
somewhere
of
else.
like,
yeah, here's how I present
getting it out here. Now you'll have this sell sheet. You'll have the, what is someone looking for? And Maggie's wonderful. And I think that even if she's like, you know what, we're going to pass. Here's the things that I would do next time to present to someone. She's so nice. So I think either way, it's going to be positive.
Yeah.
And maybe even like super positive. Maybe super mega.
You never know.
Lucky
it could
positive.
be a spectacularily fun experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Jeff. I'm super
of course.
excited about that. And
I didn't get you a real
nervous
birthday
and
present, so
excited.
that's what I got you.
Yeah, that's my birthday present.
That's a pretty good
amazing.
present.
That's fucking awesome. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about before we go into the top 5?
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't think
excited
so.
too. I cannot wait. It's going to be fun. I'm interested to see what it's like this year because it's going to be. It's just going. I think the word this year is it's going to be less. Right? There's going to be less people, less publishers. I wonder what the vendor hall is going to look like. Is it going to seem? Are we going to notice? Are we going to notice that it's like, oh man, this is like, there's nothing this time? Is it going to feel that way? Or is it going to feel like, it seems like the same thing to me?
I'm excited
I don't
to
know.
do like next episode Gencon debrief.
Yeah, Gencon debrief.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, the rundown, the Gencon rundown. It's exciting. So we'll see what happens. So we are fusing together the top 5 with the Nook because it is our Gen Con preview episode. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through top 5 is not really the way to say it, but we're going to go through 5 games each that we are excited about at Gen Con. Personally, the way I did it was only games that I could purchase because I just care. It's not fun unless you own it. But this could also be demos that are going to be there that you're excited about, or just games that are being announced that you're excited that are going to be coming. However you wanted to do it. We're going to go. We'll go me, Jeff, Natalie this time. So the first one that I want to talk about is just a little card game. It's by AEG. It's billed as a push your luck auction game, and I've been really into these littler partyish games lately. We've been talking about, and this one is just simply called 10.
That's on my list too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
My checkout. I want to check it out list.
Sure.
Yeah.
It looks really, really cool. I love push your luck. That's like a mechanism that I really enjoy. Natalie used
Hit or
to
miss.
not,
Yeah.
but like the last few that we've played with you that are push luck, you've kind of enjoyed.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one kind of combines that mechanism with an auction, which seems really interesting.
I think I saw this and saw Push Your Luck and auction, and I was
You were like,
nope.
nope, and double nope. How do I nope this fast
Those
enough?
two things remind me of a game called For Sale, which I love.
Yeah.
And
in my card box.
these creators are the same people, I'm pretty sure, that made Point Salad, which I
Yes,
really like.
you're right.
So
The Point Salad guys.
That caught my attention first. I was like, this is the Point Salad crew.
Yeah.
I want to look at this game because it does look cool.
You're drawing cards one at a time, trying to add as many as you can without exceeding a total value of 10. So that's the push your luck. You're trying to like, okay, there's one more card. And if you go over 10, you bust. And it's like, shit.
That does sound fun.
So this is from the BGG description. Players may push their luck to draw more cards and use currency to buy additional cards in their attempt to build the longest number sequence in each color. When valuable wild cards emerge from the deck, players compete in auctions to obtain them in order to fill gaps in their sequences. So that is what seems awesome. Like, I need this card. That card could go right in here, and now my sequence is like, 6 cards long where it was only 2. But Natalie needs that card too. So how badly does she want it? So we're gonna auction it off, and it just seems really fun. It seems like again, it's not going to be a game that
It's not a main
drives a game.
course,
It's not a main course, but
but-
it's one of those little light card games that I'm pretty excited about, and it'll probably be a mandatory pickup for me because it's just going to be
because it shouldn't be too expensive. That'll be one that I'll grab also.
Yeah.
Hopefully AEG has massive bags again.
Yes,
and then I can
we
get
just
this
put
massive
that in the bag
and just get 10.
Yeah,
I'm in. I'm
so
into that one
that's
too.
10 by AEG. Jeff, what do you got, man?
I have a game. Oh yeah, I'm next. I'm prepared. I'm prepared. There's a Devere game called Castle Party.
Castle Party. Okay,
that I'm interested in. There's a couple Devere games that I'm like, yeah, this looks cool, but Castle Party stood out to me. And I don't know if it's on Ryan's list, but this is a polyomino game.
Ooh,
This is in that category that might miss because it's a flipping right.
Let me look. I don't see it.
Ooh, you might have to.
Yeah, it's not on
You might have to pull it
Party.
up.
I'm going to pull it up.
So it's a polyomino game,
Like that.
where you're writing on your own kind of grid,
Like the show.
and the card, like the show. And I think the only game that I know that you have talked about that has this this mechanism is Oriole, where you flip it over, and the polyomino shape of how you're going to draw it on your board is actually how
in
you're
the same
looking
orientation.
at it.
Yep.
So if it was the L, my L might look like an L, and Allie's might be upside down. However you're looking at it is what you're adding to your board, and you're trying to like match same monsters types together. So different groups will get you different points and things like that. I'm looking forward to it. It's got really cool art, really cool on the cover.
Cool.
It's got like this kind of Halloween-y sort of, but in a cutesy kind of way.
Right. It's very cutesy.
So polyomino, flipping right, those two things I enjoy. Hopefully it doesn't end up like Super Mega Hoo Ha, and
Super Mega
does
shit
something new. I hope it does something new. And that is again Castle Party by DeVere Games.
Also seems small enough that it's low risk to take a chance on. So
Yes.
I think I'm going to add that to my list right now. Thank you, Jeff. Castle Party.
You're welcome.
All right, Natalie, what do you got?
Okay, my first one is called Pinpoint.
Yes, it's on my list too, Natalie.
Yeah, it's a party game. I see that it has dry erase markers, and it's about like clue giving. So all of those seems like something that we're totally into. So I wanted to see what this is all about. This particular game has like 3-in-1 games in it, so there's like 3 different ways to like play this game, which seems kind of cool. Just to give an example, one of the ways to play it is like it says it's called 1 through 100, and you use a comparison of 2 extremes where one player gives a clue to help others guess a specific number between 1 and 100, which kind of reminds me of like wavelength but like with numbers. Yep. So yeah, that caught my eye, and I wanted to check that out. And Gen Con I feel like is a cool place to check out a party game like this, because we could probably play a couple rounds of it, get a feel for it, and then be like, this is awesome, let's buy it.
This blows.
Or walk away.
I don't like this.
Just say, wow, that was neat, and then walk away. No, Natalie, that's on my list too. It seems like a game my students might like. It seems like, again, not a main course game, but a game that could hit the table a lot, like a Wavelength. And I like that there was kind of, like you said, 3 different ways to play it. You could do like, there's a team game also that you're doing. I think it's like 1 to 10 or
1
something.
to 10,
Kind of
1 to
stuff.
100.
That's a cool one.
Yep, that looks very cool. Awesome. Number 4 for me is another DeVere game called Luna Capital. Now, Natalie and I were talking just before we started here, and she was kind of like, there doesn't seem to be that many like Euro style games that we really like that are like coming out, and Luna Capital is one that I think could potentially fit this kind of niche. How do you pronounce that word? Niche. I'm not
Frederick Nietzsche.
Fred Nietzsche. Okay, so basically, Luna Capital, you're colonizing the moon, right? Luna Capital, and so on your turn, you draft a card, and this card has like different spots for buildings to go onto it, and then you also draft a building tile. And then you're basically putting the card down in a tableau in front of you, and you can make, I think, 3 different rows of them, max. And then you're placing the buildings that you draft onto the cards. And some cards have pre-printed buildings already on them, and some have empty spaces, and you can place a building on an empty space. And then you are going to earn points based on where your buildings are in conjunction to other buildings. And then it ramps up in each round. In round 2, you're drawing a card that has 2 tiles now, and then 3 tiles, and then 4 tiles at the end of the 4th round. And you're making these like elaborate lunar cities, which it looks really cool when it's like all completed. And you're earning points based on where you have placed your cities. Like if I have these, oxygen areas, 4 in a row, that's going to give me maybe like 10 points, something like that. And it seems like it's light enough that it seems like it's a good wheelhouse game for us. Like it's going to be light enough that it's going to be easy to get to the table, but chunky enough that it's going to have some decisions that are going to kind of keep it around. So that's Luna Capital. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jeff?
I'm into that one too. At the DeVere booth, I will probably pick up both of those because those 2 really caught my attention. You described it better than I think I would have, and also you knew more about it, and it made me more interested in it. So and again, the art looks so cool.
Oh man, does it look cool?
That was an attention grabber for me as I was scrolling down.
Me too.
I was like, all right, I got to look at what this is.
I watched like a bunch of videos on it over the last few days because there's a lot of times where I look at a game and I'm like, that looks sweet, and then I learn about it and I'm like, oh, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I watched some videos and I was like, okay, this is
I care.
cool.
I
This
care.
this looks like something I'd like.
Yeah,
So
and
that's-
both those Divinity games are getting good out of the gate ratings and initial kind of reactions.
Yeah, they're getting some buzz.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they, with Red Cathedral, they really hit it out of the park with Red Cathedral. I think it brought a lot more attention to them.
Agreed. So that's my number 4. Luna Capital. What you got, Jeff?
My number 4 is a 2 to 4 player game that I will probably play it as a 2 player game. There is a 3 and 4 player variant, but this is a game called Land vs. Sea. Did you see this one?
I don't have that one either.
So this is Good Games Publishing. It's like a heads up tile laying game where essentially someone is the land and
Here be dragons.
someone is the sea.
Okay,
So
that's cool.
I don't know if they're hexes or if they're squares, but anyway, you're playing to this common board, and basically the person who is the land, you're trying to place tiles to complete land area, and the sea person is trying to place tiles to complete sea areas.
That's cool.
And I think you're just kind of fighting this kind of tug of war back and forth on this on a joint board of sort of just playing. It seems
It looks like it's tile laying and you're making the board.
you're making the
right?
board in front of you, and you're both adding to the same board.
So it kind of reminds me of a little bit of Paris. If you're like, it's because I'm guessing it's like area majority. You're
I'm not
trying
sure
to
if
get
like
more...
I'm not sure if like the biggest land or the biggest sea will score kind of points. So I'm trying to basically cut your water off, and you're trying to cut the land off. But it doesn't seem as maybe directly confrontational as Paris, or it's a bigger board, so maybe there's more
Opportunities
freedom
for,
and then the 2 versus 2 would be like you're on team, sort of. You're sitting across from each other. It seems like something I want to check out. It might be a flop. I might look at it and go no, but it could
like the
be like
theme.
a sleeper
Piques
hit.
your
It could be a hit
interest.
for me, that a game that everyone's not looking at that could be.
We
one I
always
really
love
like.
that stuff. So
Yep.
that's on my radar. Cool.
Yeah.
Land versus sea. Awesome. All right, Natalie, what was your number 4?
My number 4, it's an R&R game called
I know this
Mystic
one.
Paths.
Yep.
It plays 2 to 6 players. It's I guess it's like a cooperative game and also a deduction game, and it has like a maze. It
Ooh, that's
seems
like
like what
all
you
you.
do. I know. I was like, ooh, yeah.
This game is called Natalie.
Right.
Natalie the
Seems like
game.
what you do is you have to like navigate paths through a labyrinth, but everybody has like their own unique path, and only you know what your path is, and so you have to do
You know.
you have to give clues to other people, because to get through your paths, like portals have to be opened, and I think you have to like give clues to which portals that you can open, and so you have to like get clever with like some card play and
Against Sean
stuff
Clever.
to try to like basically like the goal of the game is in 5 rounds everyone has to complete their own path before the 5 rounds are over, but you're like giving clues to like help the team get through it all. So it seemed pretty cool. I want to check that out.
Nice. What's that called again?
Mystic Paths.
That seems
Mystic
like your
Paths.
seems like your game. I have that game on my list too. It reminded me. I've spent the entire time you talking about that trying to think of what that game was called a few Gen Cons ago, where it was like Codenames / Mysterium, and you had to like steer your person.
Obscurio?
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
No, not Obscurio.
No,
that was the Mysterium one.
I know what she's talking about. I know what he's talking about.
Oh.
We didn't. I ended up not liking it.
Natalie liked it a
and I
lot.
didn't.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, what was it
Shadows
called?
Amsterdam?
Shadows Amsterdam.
Shadows
we
Amsterdam.
bought it.
It kind of reminded me of that, where you're trying to like give clues to steer them through a path. It seems cool. I'm excited about that.
Very
one,
cool.
too.
Number 3 for me is a game from a publisher who's tearing it up, Capstone. They actually might just be distributing this. I'm not sure, but they have this line of games on, because Capstone typically puts out very heavy, big boy games, right?
Yeah.
But they have a line now. They're calling it's like Capstone Family or something like that, I think. And I'm not sure if this is the first game in that line, but it's a game called Juicy Fruits. You heard of Juicy Fruits?
No, that's not on my list.
So this game caught my eye with this this mechanism that reminds me slightly of a game that we like called Ulm.
Okay.
You remember the mechanism in Ulm where you're pushing?
best mechanism in Ulm?
This
Yes.
game is sort of similar to that. Now, you're not pushing other things out of the way, but there's tiles in the middle of the board, and you are basically sliding a tile down a number of spaces towards something, and that tile you slide gives you that many resources based on how many spaces you slid. So if I slide down 1, 2, 3, I can get like 3 bananas. Okay, but now doing that is going to maybe block another tile. So now if I want this one, I'm only going to get 1 carrot now.
So it's
where if
kinda
I wouldn't have
like
done
a
that,
cool slide puzzle.
yeah,
sort
it's
of
like a
thing.
little
That's
slide
sweet.
puzzle
Okay.
thing, and you're taking stuff away. And then so like you're like fulfilling contracts. So like say this one thing that I needs an orange and a banana. So I'll do that slide banana, get 3 bananas, and then the next turn I get 2 oranges. Now my next turn I can take an orange and a banana that I have, fulfill this contract. Once I do that, it takes space away from the board. Now I can slide even further to get more resources on a future turn. And it just looked really, really fun.
Juicy
Fruits.
I'm into that one.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. That's one that I'm pretty excited about. Economic kind of like farming kind of thing with the fruit, the actual fruit. But I really like that central grid movement mechanism
Yeah, it seems
idea
cool.
that I'm kind of surprised more games have not done after Ulm. Because what a cool mechanism that was.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a ton of stuff like that. So that's my number 3, Juicy Fruits. What's your number 3, Jeff?
I have a game about pushing stuff too.
Ooh.
It's called Kabuto Sumo.
Kabuto Sumo. I've seen like
Yeah, I saw
maybe
that.
30 videos on this game. Isn't that crazy?
I want.
Like Scott played it. I thought,
Yeah,
ooh.
I think I want
Oh
it.
my God.
It's
cool.
boardgametables.com.
It looks cool.
And it
Oh, yeah.
mimics the
It's on my list.
quarter pushing arcade game that you might have played. Where you put a quarter in and maybe it falls to a thing, and then that slider just kind of pushes the quarters, and the hope
Yeah.
is to
There's
knock
also a
everything
game called
off.
Push-A-Monster. You ever play that?
No.
It's very similar to that.
Okay. So
think Joe
what
has
you're
it.
doing is this is a dexterity game, but it's not a flicking dexterity game, which is nice because some people suck at flicking. This one, you're essentially taking I don't know if you have like your different factions or you just have different tokens. And in the middle of the board is this circle. Okay. It's like a plate. And you are pushing your token onto the plate. And once it gets to a certain spot, you're attempting to try to push off the other people, and it's like a sumo ring. You're knocking people out of the
Yeah.
sumo ring. Just seems like it could be a very fun experience.
And each of you has like a different like special power. So if
Yeah.
you're like the stag beetle, you'll have this like long stick thing that you can push in there, and then it like,
Yes.
it does look really sweet.
It seems really fun. It's a game I definitely want to see on the table. It could be one of those ones that get people looking at it, right? Because it just has that kind of ability to attract
Yeah.
people to the table. So
This
that is-
I was looking at this game maybe 2 years ago.
ooh.
It was on Kickstarter, I think, or something maybe. Yeah, so it's been around, but I don't think it's been out. I think it's just available
Okay.
for the first time now. So
Yeah.
it does look cool.
Kabuto Sumo.
All right, Natalie, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is a game that I think it's just going to be a demo at Gen Con, but it comes out in October, so if we like it, we could get it pretty soon after. And it's Elf Creek Games, called Merchants of the Dark Road.
Yep.
It's one of the only games that I was kind of interested in that was actually like a worker placement game. It has a rondelle, though it's worker placement with
So that's just a
dice.
demo that's not going to be available?
I have an
That's what it
update on
says.
that. It does say that it's only on the Gen Con preview list. It does say that it's might not be available. There is a thread on the Elf Creek or on the Dark Road board game page. Someone asked about Gen Con, and they said they should have shipping. They should have at least the first 2 crates there. So it might be like a day one. You might have to go right there to get it.
Yeah.
Because that's probably, if I was listing this, that's the game I'm most excited for. I'm going to take it off my list.
It
Highlight
seems
something
cool.
else.
Well-
But that game seems very,
That
very
makes
awesome.
sense because I mean, if it comes out in October, you'd think they'd be able to get some games in September.
Yeah, I
you
think
know what I mean?
might have been a Kickstarter, so they might also be like towing that line of like, do we get it out to other people before
Right.
the Kickstarter backers and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
That's a good
But
point.
that is definitely that's the most excited I am about a Euro game. I think this year is that one.
Yes.
It's got a rondelle.
Yeah, it's got a rondelle.
I'm
worker
into Ron.
placement. I mean, the description of it on here, it doesn't really tell you a ton about how the game works. It talks kind of more about like the theme of the turns and like the mechanics, you know? So like I don't have like a clear picture of what it's all about, which is cool because then I totally demo it and see, but I'm definitely interested in it based on those mechanisms. And it's also one of those games that you have to balance, that Ryan's really good at. You have to balance money earned with the height of your fame, and your
Like if you're
total
6 feet tall.
score is like the lowest of those 2 values. Like you're always good at that kind
I'm
of
good
stuff.
at that. What do you mean? Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not, but
The
I
lower
usually
of the
have fun.
yeah, it's like a
doing it.
typical Reiner Knizia scoring
Yeah.
mechanism.
Yeah.
You got to do well in like everything like that. That's awesome.
Good choice.
Thanks.
Okay, I've been waffling back and forth on what I want to put for in this number 2 spot. There's 2 because I know what my number 1 is for sure, but I can only talk about one more in my number 2 spot. Oh, know, Jeff, were you not talking about that one?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I was not going to talk about it.
Okay, so the other one I'll put in honorable mentions, but I could also put that here. So I'm talking about Origins First Builders. Yes, this is by one of our favorite publishers collectively. I would say Board and Dice.
Yep.
Man, they put out some good stuff. We love a lot of the games, and they're another one like Capstone, who's just kind of like they're like one of the top for me publishers that I look when I'm like, ooh, what is Board and Dice doing? What is this? So this probably to me looks like the most Euro game that is appearing maybe at Gen Con. You know, so this is the one that got me at the most excited. There's not a ton. I wish there was more pictures available out there, but there's dice in this game. There's like player boards. There's tiles that you're taking and putting into like your own tableau kind of stuff. And to read just a quick little bit of the description to give you a little taste of what it is. You're an Archon or an Archon guiding a population of freemen influencing the construction of buildings, blah, blah, blah. You start the game with a city consisting of just 2 building tiles. As the game develops, though, your city will grow in both size and strength as you add new building tiles, each of which has a special ability, which I love, that triggers when it's first added to a city when you're closing a district. Your placement on the military track indicates the rewards you receive when you attack and your chances of becoming the first player. So it's cool. It's there's drafting, tile placement, variable setup, dice like placement, workers, you know, like placing dice out, and it just looks like a game that I would enjoy. And I don't know a ton about it. I'm interested to know more about it. Jeff, you said you pre-ordered it, so that's exciting.
Yes.
And it's just a game I want to play. It just looks really cool.
That's why it's not on my list, because that would have been
Yeah,
like 1 or 2 because I already got it.
Sure.
Because as soon as they put something on Instagram or social media, they like blast it out. They were like, "You can pre-order it." I'm like, "I'll just pre-order it," because that was one I was all in on for sure.
Yeah.
This is a game that might not. Are we on 2? Is it my
This
turn?
is 2. Yep.
It's a game that might not be in my wheelhouse, but it's a game I think could be very awesome and could be a humongous hit. This game is called The Stuff of Legend.
The Stuff of Legend. Okay.
So The Stuff of Legend is by Third World Studios. It's designed by Kevin Wilson, who does Descent and Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
And it is a cooperative game where it reminded me of Stuffed Fables, where you are these stuffed animals trying to essentially save your kid from the boogeyman.
Okay.
And as you play through this, it talks about it being a campaign, but also the fact that you don't have to play with the same group of people. You can sub people in and out. It just kind of is. It has an overarching like, storyline, but isn't necessarily a legacy kind of thing.
This totally seems like Stuffed Fables. You're right.
Yeah, it's got.
Boys loyal
it
toys.
has more of a darker theme than Stuffed Fables. Definitely like darker tones and artwork and things like that.
And it's not a storybook.
It's not a storybook.
Yeah.
I think it's a board.
Yeah.
It's cooperative, but what's kind of cool and what caught my attention is that throughout this storyline, you might be like influenced to all of a sudden be on the side of the boogeyman and kind of change maybe your who you are in that mission or to continue the game, which I think would be cool to if you're playing this as a campaign sort of to be like, what if you got changed in like game 3 and all of a sudden.
Yeah,
you just kind of like,
what do I do?
like in game 10, maybe you could, like, is there something like that to this? So this is probably a very thematic game. Again, maybe more in the Ameritrash realm, not necessarily something that I gravitate to, but I think this could be a huge hit.
So this is for sale?
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
It might just be a demo, but it's something that I would definitely
it looks cool.
demo if...
It does look really cool.
I wonder if I can pull it up right now, if it has...
Yeah, I'm looking on Board Game Geek. There's just not a ton of.
There's not a ton. I know, which kind of
it
piqued my attention.
2022 for the.
Okay, so probably
date,
not.
But I wonder.
But if they have some copies to demo, that could definitely get my.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I like that. All right, Natalie, what is your number 2? That was The Stuff of Legend.
Yeah.
So my number 2, I was like trying to figure out what I should do. Is this Pandasaurus game called The Loop?
Yes, that was the other game I was going to talk about.
Really?
Yeah, good.
Funny.
Good. I'm glad.
Okay, I mean, I was trying to figure out like what this game is all about.
That is a cool. It looks
it's a cooperative
so awesome.
game, and it's a card game, but
it's about time travel.
Yeah, it's about time travel, and I don't really know like how you play it, but it seems like what I've read about it is that it seems kind of like wacky, and you have like wacky card combinations, and there's time travel, and another big thing that I read a lot about it is that there's a lot of replayability, which seems good. I don't know.
It could be a good thing. I guess.
I fell
Who
asleep
cares?
last night watching the game night playthrough of that.
Oh, yeah.
Deborah Ann Wool was
so you
playing
saw
it
how
with
works.
Lincoln, and well, I fell asleep. But I knew a little bit about it at first. So yeah, you're like basically traveling through time in these time loops. The board is like these pie slices. There's like 7 different like eras. They're eras, like 7 different eras of time. And so like you travel, through them. There's this evil Dr. Lou or Dr. Fu or Fao or Fo.
It's like FAUF.
Yeah, so I think it used to be Fu in the first edition, because this is like the second edition, and they changed it to Fo.
Yeah.
And he like messes with you and stuff like that. And again, I don't know a ton about it either. All I know is if you look at pictures of this fucking thing, it looks so awesome.
Very colorful.
It's got
I
a
love
great-
cooperative games,
it's
and
got a great look.
people are
Yeah.
excited about it. So I'm excited about it too.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't pick it on my list mostly was because I don't know enough about it either.
Yeah.
It just looks like something
It's
I'm really
just-
interested
yeah,
in.
something that piqued my interest, and I want to like check it out.
All right, so are we at number 1 then?
Yeah,
Here we
babe.
go. My number 1. It's a little shocking to me that this is my number 1, but for some reason I'm more excited about this than any other game, other than maybe that Origins game. This is called Savannah Park, and it's the
I
new
saw that.
Kiesling and Kramer
Yes.
game. And what a cool concept this is. Basically, you have a bunch of animal tiles, and you put them on your player board. Everyone does this, so there's like, I don't know, 20. We'll say there's 26 tiles. Okay, everyone puts them in a random spot of their own player board. Then one person takes a tile and moves it. So let's say an elephant. There's a single elephant tile. I take that tile and I move it. Everyone else that's playing has to also move the elephant tile that they have on their player board, but it's in a different spot on their player board, right?
Yeah.
And so once you move a tile, you flip it over to its like moved side. And so now that tile cannot be moved again. And so we're going to go round and round until every single tile, all those 26 tiles have been flipped over and moved. And then we score. And you score based on a number of different things. You score based on where animal groups are connected to each other in contiguous spots. Like if I have a group of 3 elephants in a contiguous spot, they'll earn me points. If there's like a watering hole there's these bushfire tiles where if groups of animals are next to the bushfire tiles, they just get removed, and so then they don't score. And it just seems really simple and really clever and kind of a new, interesting method. Like I like games that you have to follow, and this game takes that kind of to a different level where you don't get to follow the other people. You have to. I'm going to pick this tile, and now you have to move that too. And it's like, no, I don't want to move that. Damn it, but you have to.
Yeah.
And so now that I know I have to move it, where do I move it to make it most advantageous for myself? And it seems potentially chaotic, but it also seems really fun. Plus, the pedigree of Kiesling and Kramer is, too hard for me to ignore. So this is going to be a first day, if it's there, first day pickup for me. That is Savannah Park.
Cool. That was
Put
on
out
my
by
list too.
Deep Print. Oh, maybe another
I
Capstone.
think it's a CG game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Or
it's another,
C- yeah.
I think it's another
CG
Capstone game. Yeah.
CS game. Capstone.
CG.
CG.
Capstone Games.
Yeah, Capstone
Capstone Games. Yes, that's my number 1. Savannah Park by Kiesling and Kramer. What about you, Jeff?
Guys, all my games have been taken.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just subbing in other things. So
Yeah.
there is a game that might not be the biggest hit of mine, but is a game that fits into one of my favorite themes. This game is called Suspects.
That was on my
Suspects
list, too.
is, I'm pretty sure it's a 1 playthrough from what I read in the replayability part of that, but it is, again, a mystery solving.
Studio
It's based
Is that
on...
the Agatha Christie?
Yeah,
one?
it's based on her novels. So I haven't read them, but spoiler alert.
But
I
you're
don't
aware
know.
that they exist?
Yeah, but it's a crime solving thing. I think you're following kind of this woman who graduated in 1920 something. She's going on this adventure, and you're kind of trying to track down maybe what happened to her. You're following her work and stuff like that. It just seems like a cool game that I know that I'll get my money's worth out of and get invested into those type of games, and that's like one of my favorite themes because crime is popular.
It is. It's very popular.
Still
Crime's
popular
right
all
now.
these years later.
Yep. All right, Natalie, that brings us to you.
My
What
number
is it?
1 is In the Palm of Your Hand. That's the name of the game.
What's the game called? Oh,
It's
in the palm of
Le
my
Boîte de Jeu. That's
In the
the
palm of your hand? Yeah.
the palm of your hand.
de jus. Right, I have that too.
So this game, unfortunately, it says limited quantities, possibly demo only depending on shipping. but it's a cooperative party type game where one player must mime these memories depicted on cards by using objects in another player's hands who
That's right.
I just want to watch
Really
Ryan play this game. That's it. I just want to watch you mime things.
Yeah.
It does look cool.
So like the other players only see the mime and must add additional memory cards that seem to correspond to the mime. The grandfather closes his eyes and must find the right memories. Like it's just
Close your eyes,
reminds me a
Grandpa.
little bit of like Team 3, you know, where like you don't see everything that's happening, you know, depending on what your role is. And you're trying to like guess stuff.
I'm into that. That wasn't on my list, but I'm excited. That could be a
Yep, I
game
have
we
that on
play
my list,
back
too.
at the get it the
Yeah.
first day and
Yeah.
play
Yep,
at the
get it,
Airbnb.
yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
What'd you guys have? You have any honorable mentions?
The Loop was on my honorable was one of my honorable mentions. There's another game called Icky that I don't know if that's how you
That was on
pronounce
mine,
it.
too.
Icky, but
Yeah,
it looks,
IKI,
yeah,
right?
IKI. It looks really cool. I love the Japanese theme in games and stuff like that. And that's maybe in limited quantities. So
I feel like that
a
was like something that
potential,
was pasted
you
on
gotta go.
a lot of those games because it's
Yeah.
going to depend on shipping and
Yeah,
if
we
the
don't
crate
know.
showed up and maybe I remember a few years ago when we were getting Black Angel, they were like, yeah, we're hoping this next shipment comes in Saturday, so maybe if you don't get it Thursday, maybe they get the shipment on Saturday.
Right.
You know, it's like
Right.
Could be like delayed.
But I also had a game called The Hunger. Witchstone is on there. Suspects was one of the ones on mine. There's a game called Sticky Cthulhu that looks kind of interesting. And there was another one I can't find where it is. Maybe is it Gorinto? Is that the one?
that's like an abstract game from
Yeah.
that seems very cool.
Yeah,
as well.
that one looks very
Grand
sweet.
Gamers Guild, I think, did that one. Yeah,
Yes, Grand Gamers Guild. Yep, and
Grand Rapids,
also
Michigan. Woo-woo.
also a game called Vivid Memories.
I'm into that one. That's on
which
my honorable
I mean, that's
mentions.
got Andrew. That's his name
Lloyd
Andrew
Webber?
Bosley.
Yeah, the artist.
Yeah, the artist
Yep.
from
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yeah, but that one looks awesome. I'm not sure how cool it is, but we'll see. There's a game called The Night Cage. It looks like a co-op, like
yeah, I had-
escape thing. That looks
Yep.
pretty cool.
Cool cover to that one. That one caught my attention.
Very
that way.
cool. Dice Miner looked cool, and then I've heard some kind of bad things about
yeah,
it, so I
had
took
that.
that.
That
off.
I've
My
cooled on that one.
interested-
Yep, me
I've
too.
cooled on that one. Natalie, what do you got? You got any?
Yeah, I got one called Mission to Planet Hex.
Okay.
That kind of
It's probably
I don't
less like Catan because it's got
It's got hexes. So.
and then like again, I don't really know much about it. Just kind
That's
of
okay.
caught my eye.
We don't know about him. It's okay.
There's one called Spy Fest. That's like a detective
Yep, got that one.
What is
Hobby
it?
World.
detective storytelling party.
It's supposed to be
game.
kind of like the crypto.
Yeah, so that seemed cool. And then besides ones that you guys already said, there's one called Happy City. I don't know what that's about, but I put it on there.
Sam.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that one. Okay, cool. Jeff, what do you got?
I would like to check out the Lost Ruins of Arnak expansion.
Yeah, that's gonna be demoed
that'll
there,
hopefully
right?
just be at least out in
Yeah.
the CGE room. I had Origins on there. Witchstone looks awesome. The Doctor, I'm obviously
Yep,
going to check out
yeah,
any game I have.
yep.
Vivid Memories looks cool. I feel like
does.
it's going to be a Ryan game. He's going to be very good at this abstract.
Well, I
'Cause it's
watched
got
a couple
card
videos.
drafting. There's some abstract on your player board.
Yeah,
I
you got
think,
like
right?
these three little things you're putting into hexes. I was like
Yeah.
watching a couple videos and I was like yawning. Like
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. It looks so good. I'd like to maybe
it's beautiful.
If
And
it's
I think
there, maybe we'll demo.
Sometimes that's a Floodgate.
Yeah.
And I think Floodgate has very beautiful productions for
Amazing.
everything, but sometimes their games aren't there. So that's a game
Yeah.
I'm reserved, but I definitely want to check
Yeah,
it out.
me too.
The new Dune is coming out. There's another
Yep,
Dune.
another Dune.
That looks awesome. There's this game by Yellow called Korra that looked pretty cool.
Okay.
It's like a version of, I don't want to say like it's a direct copy. It's a version of that game Polis.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, which I
Cool.
think could be interesting. I just want to go buy Glass Road from CGE.
Yeah.
So it's not like new. Now or Never looks,
Is that coming out?
again, demo or not, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
But
Could be
yeah,
available.
Suspects 10. I want to obviously go to Restoration Games, and I need to check out Key to the Kingdom, and I need to check out Omega Virus Protocol.
Yeah.
Because that means that this is like, the Omega Virus Protocol is the step in the direction toward Omega Virus
Yeah.
being redone, and the tagline on,
Pesky humans.
yes, on Omega Virus Protocol, it says, "This is just the beginning, human scum."
Oh,
So-
does that bring you back?
It brings me back. That's
like
because
a
that was
video
a game
game or
that I
something?
love.
No, it's a board game that Jeff played when he was young.
Yeah, it's you're basically racing against this robot, and you're trying to go in these different rooms, like collect the right keys and do all that kind of stuff. I don't know how they're gonna spice it up and make it new, but even just seeing Key to the Kingdom will be cool. And I'm sure their booth is just gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be
'cause they're-
fun. Yeah, that's
they're
a cool publisher.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I had a list of I think 20, maybe 30 something games, and just looking forward to seeing those ones and buying too many and
yeah.
that kind of great stuff. And then
Totally.
and then also maybe when we come back, we compare and go, all right, this was the 5 or 10 that we
Yeah, here's what I was excited about.
Here's what we
actually
here's what we actually bought.
having. Yep.
And here's
It's
what
always
like,
different.
Yeah, we didn't
Right.
know what we were going to get,
we were
and this is
we
the
talked
best
about
game we
that.
didn't even know about.
Because sometimes there's stuff not on the list. Sometimes it doesn't catch your eye on the list, but in person, you're like, what's this all about? And it ends up being like the hit, and it wasn't even on your radar.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's the cool thing, too.
It's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters and you will find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. We've also got a Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/thegamecasters, you can support us. Feel free to head on over there. There's also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Gamer, Gateway gear. So head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/merch. Please follow me and consider subscribing on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamecasters. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody. You don't have to. That's fine.
Levels.